Well, what a fantastic morning we had here at the Carole Nash Historic Festival. We're going to get back on track very shortly with the second running of the Guards Trophy, this time a 40-minute two-driver race. And we've lots more action, lots going on in the paddock here. We've got more demonstrations later on. So we will be back very shortly with the first Guards Trophy race of the day, a 40-minute race. And before that, we're going to have a little bit of an interview, which is going to be done by that man from Car SOS, Tim Shaw, with up-and-coming young Irish racing driver Alex Dunn. So we'll have a short break and we'll be back with Tim Shaw and Alex Dunn to talk us into the restart of racing here at the Carole Nash Historic Festival.
This is maybe a conversation that you shouldn't be a part of, because we were getting stuck right inside this man's mind. Because I'll tell you something, as a host of the TV show Car SOS, I've been very lucky, particularly in the last year, to have worked with some very, very important people like the likes of Prince Harry, Jack Black, Jay Leno, Tyson Fury. And you get this distinct impression that when you're meeting somebody special, somebody very special, you get this sort of alarm bell that rings and something you feel like you need their phone number, you need to hang on to them. Well, I'm sitting beside a young man here called Alex Dunn. Now, Alex, I think maybe it's best for you to tell the world who's watching this what it is that you do and what you've achieved in the last couple of years, which is just phenomenal. And everyone who's stopping me for a photo because they might watch Car SOS, I'm dragging this guy in and saying, no, you need to have him in the photo as well. Forget me. This is the photo you want. This is the photo you'll sell in the future. Alex, I know that's set you up on a high stand, but it's worthy of it. What you've achieved is phenomenal. So let's just find a little bit about what it is that you do.
Yeah, so my name's Alex Dunn. I'm a 17-year-old professional racing driver.
Do you know how, hang on, stop a minute. You're jealous, aren't you? Hello, I'm a 17-year-old professional racing driver. I only wish I could go back in time and say that. No, I was just a scruff at the age of 17. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a 17-year-old professional racing driver. Last year I was the British F4 champion. I broke the record of numerous Formula 1 drivers last year for the most wins in a season, and right now I'm leading the championship in F3.
Right, so when you say numerous, I mean the person who had it before you was who?
Lando Norris.
You can't say that without a smile on your face, can you? Who was it? Tell me that again.
Lando Norris.
So this man at the moment is ahead of Lando Norris. How does it feel to be you? It's a tough question to answer that.
I would say it feels pretty cool.
Okay.
You know, it's not very often that at the age of 17 someone gets to do something like this, so I think it's pretty special.
Right, so I get the distinct impression that, and as I said at the beginning when we just started this conversation, I get the distinct impression I'm sitting beside, and I hope this is a compliment, the next Lewis Hamilton. The journey between now and making that happen, you clearly, and from everyone I've spoken to and seeing you drive, you clearly have the experience, you have the talent. How do you make that happen over here in Ireland? It's a smaller country, and some people would say it's a harder thing to do to get the money in.
Yeah, you know, of course, motorsport is very difficult financially. Thankfully, I have the support from everyone at Modelo Park. Modelo Park sponsored me this year, and they've helped me along quite a lot. So yeah, you know, we're always trying to find new sponsorship and trying to do what we can. But thankfully, we do have some good support over here.
You know, when I first met you just earlier on, you come across very composed, very much together, and nothing unnerves you. Is that you as a human being? I mean, because like for what it is that you do, I couldn't think of anything more terrifying, knowing that you live or die by the way you position yourself in that race, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about it. You know, once I get in the racing car and strap myself in, I don't really think about what the consequences could be. I just do my best and try to win. So. Yeah.
I've often thought this. What do you actually think about when you're about to, you know, take Lando Norris's record, and you're in that car, and you're in a place where you've got to win this one. You've got your dad standing beside you here, Noel, whom without you wouldn't be sitting here, right here. Not just for the biological reasons, obviously, because he's your father, but also because he supported you all the way. But what do you actually think about when you're racing?
To be honest, I wouldn't really say I think about a whole lot. You know, once I start racing, I kind of forget about everything and focus on the job I have to do. You know, the main goal every time I get in the car is to win, and that's pretty much all I think about.
Do you look at the other guys on the track as well? You're looking at them through the eyes of death, like I'm gonna eat you up, I'm gonna spit you up and spit you out.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but something close to it, yeah.
Okay, so the future for you, for making it happen, How can we make that happen? Because it's one of those things that's kind of imperative for Ireland to support Ireland, to support you are leading the way. You're turning the heads of lots of people out there. How do we make it happen?
I think, the more support I can get, the better. Of course, the goal for me one day is to be in Formula One and be a Formula One world champion. The goal is that and nothing less. So I think the more support I can get on trying to achieve that, the better.
Are you catching the eyes of Formula One? Are you having conversations with people?
Yeah, we've definitely had conversations. We've been approached by numerous different teams. Red Bull, Alpine, McLaren. There's been conversations with different F1 teams, but it's all about kind of biding the time and then making the right decision at the right time.
There'll be a lot of people out there. You've got the ability, you've got the talent, you've done it from a very young age. For other young guys and girls out there who'd like to be in the position you're in at the moment, you come from a normal background. Your dad's brought you up well, homeschooled you, and your dad's is a regular guy who's been an electrician. So he's a hard-working man. What advice would you give to other people who would like to have a shot at what you're doing?
I think it's always good to stay grounded. Always remember where you came from, and I think things, especially for myself and my family coming up through motorsport, has been very difficult. Motorsport is a really hard sport financially, so there's been quite a lot of struggle along the way. But to stay motivated and stay dedicated and always remember where you came from, I think is probably a good thing.
I'd like to offer one piece of advice to anyone who's watching this. Look at this man's face. He's here. Grab him and get a photo. Put your arm around him and smile. Get him to smile at you like he's your mate as well. There will be a day when you go, yeah, I'm mates with Alex Dunn, check me out. That's a fact, that's going to happen. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team-building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating Auto Test Challenge. Mondello Park, so much more than just a racetrack.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost ready to get back to action. The cars for the Guards Trophy have had their sighting lap. We're about to go one more warm-up lap, and then we'll be into a 40-minute race. Some of the drivers will be swapping in this race, and some drivers will be driving solo. So in order to even things out, they have a mandatory pit stop, even if you're staying in the car, and it cannot be any shorter than a specified time. So the way it works is the timing system keeps track. So when you come into pit lane, it counts when you come in and it counts when you go out. So it knows if you've been under or over under the time that you're allowed, if you've gone out too quickly, and you will get a penalty on your time on the screen. So it didn't happen yesterday, and these guys are well used to this, so hopefully it won't happen today, and we'll have a straightforward race with those shown at the top of the timesheets being the guys that are leading. It was a great race yesterday. Unfortunately, our leader in yesterday's race had a little bit of an off, which means that he's not on the race today. It was one of the Lenhams, Lenham Le Mans car. There is a couple more of them out there on track, a bit further down at the back of the grid. But he went off yesterday, had a big off into the tyre barrier at turn 4 and ended up sitting half up on top of it, and it was quite a long delay to get him out. But it was a cracking race yesterday, so we're hoping for more of the same. Going down through the grid, our listing is number 55 on pole position, is one of a number of Chevron B8s in the race. So it's David Forsberry, I think, who's starting the race, and then he's been joined by it's Forsberry and Newell in that one, and then we've Donnelly and Owen on second on the grid, and that's Chevron B8. And then it's the first of the Irish pairings, Kelly and Doyle, who did so well yesterday, finished up third place, but with change of conditions and the pace car being out, they almost caught up with the leaders, and in the dash to the line they ended up challenging for second place, but only ending up third at the end of the race. So that's in one of the Irish-built Crossley 9S cars. And then we have the first of our solo runners, that's Hugh Coleman in a Chevron B8. They're the 2-litre purpose-built, I think it was Group 6 or Group 5 sports car. I'm not really sure which they were, but back from the 60s. So it sounds like they're getting warmed up to go on their warm-up lap behind the pace car, and then it will be a rolling start for these cars. Third place on the grid, number 97, is a McLaren M1A, fantastic sounding car, a big V8, was also well up, and it was leading the race at one stage under one of the pace cars, despite having an off at turn 3, and they got back on track. And initially, when the race was restarted for a run of about 10 or 12 minutes at the end, which was a 1 hour race yesterday, and they held on for quite a while, but eventually faded off the podium. And then sixth on the grid is Nick Thompson, and I'm not sure the first name of it, so it's Thompson and Woolston in a Chevron B6. So slightly older model than the B8s that are all over this. In fact, they may be the ones that are missing from the grid. There's one car missing. Then we move back to Matthew Wrigley in the Lotus Elan 26R. Some beautiful Lotus Elans out there. And then there's Joe Gom, number 57, in another Chevron B8, again running solo. Going back to the 5th row of the grid is Nick Panchisi. I hope that's I'm pronouncing that right, Panchisi or Panchisi. It's another Lotus Elan 26R. And then going back, then we have Cook and Flanagan. I think that's the Irish guys in an MG. They're not listed in the programme, but I think that's Connor Cook. I see actually he is listed but under a different number. So Connor Cook, I think that may be the what's listed as 49 in the programme. That's Connor Cook, and I don't know who his co-driver is. We'll find it out as the names come up on the screen as they go along. And there we have moving back with one of the smaller engine cars and one of the more standard based on a road cars, the Marcos 1800 GT, and that's driven by Pearson and Grant. That's number 143. And then the pairings of Tusting and Tusting in car number 31, which is at first of the Lenhams. Lenham P69 is a very low slung car, very impressive little cars, great handling, and as I said, the leader, one of them was leading the race yesterday, despite
getting caught out with pit stops. It's such a lead that even though they missed the pit opening window when most people pitted on their safety car and had to run another lap, they still managed to hold on to the lead. That's how far they were ahead, but ultimately ended up in the barrier, unfortunately. And then we have Michael Richings, I think it is, in the Merlin SR Mark IV. Number is listed as 39, but it's down as 104 on the grid sheet. And then 111, Julian Stokes in another of the Lenhams. And then last on the grid, number 47, Clive Brandon. The Lotus 47. I'm just trying to check to see if Clive is actually out there. Looking at the cars lining up now as they come through the Vannies. I don't see the Lotus of Clive Brandon out there. And there is another MG at the back of the field, which could be the Cook one, not in its grid position. So we're just watching as they come through. The two Chevron B8s on the front row of the grid. And then we have the Crossley 9S and another B8, followed by the McLaren and yet another B8. And then the last of the B8s, the red one on the next row, alongside the first of the Lotus Elans from the GT class, rather than the prototypes that the other cars are. So they come around and we'll wait for the starter. As they come down the grid, he'll have to wait until they get a good way down. They have to stay together until it goes green. Revs are rising a little bit, they're getting impatient, and the lights go out and they're away. And who gets the jump? It's the man from the outside of the front row. I don't know who's in the car now. It's the, to start off with, but it's the M Donnelly car. So I hope that the first driver named is the one that's out in the car at the moment. Unfortunately, we don't have Christian names for some of these drivers. They're only listed on the timing sheets here by their surname with an initial. So we'll do the best that we can to keep ahead of what's going on. So I think that's Mark Owen in the lead car, but we do know it's the number 19 Chevron B8, followed by the Chevron B8 in second place of David Forsberry, the winners from yesterday. And they have the Crossley up on top right on the back of them as well. So it's a long way to go. These guys won't be flat out from the start. They have a long way to go, and they have a pit stop window at some stage will open up, and that'll be shown on the timing screen. If you're watching the live timing on timing.ie on your phone or on a tablet or on your screen at home, the live timing will show when the pit window opens up, and they have a window through which they must complete their pit stop. And as I said, even if they're a single driver, they've got to complete that pit stop. So it looks like it's straight into the same battle that was going on at the end of the race yesterday. We've got the two Chevrons and the Crossley 9S, and the 9S bouncing across the curbs that are all taking a whole lot of curb on the inside, the second part of Brains Bends. The David Forsberry car tried to go down the outside, but he's keeping close track on top of well, apparently it's Martin Donnelly, I think, in that car first, presuming from our grid sheet that the name on the top is the one that's going first. So we think that may be former Formula 1 driver Martin Donnelly out there. Donnelly, well known to fans here in Ireland, was a big star in Formula Ford 2000. And the McLaren is keeping up with these top three as well. So we've got a great dice going on for the lead so far with the two Chevron B8s, the Crossley 9S and the McLaren. McLaren M1A, very unique sounding car. The others are much more higher revving, smaller engine cars, and that's a big V8 in the McLaren, a 5-litre V8, so it's slightly different configuration. Most of the others are around 2 litres or 1600 to 2 litres, and they're much more nimble, much more lightweight cars than the big car, but they don't have anything like the power of the McLaren, and McLaren's beginning to use that. So up from 5th on the grid, Adam Sykes in the McLaren first off, holding on to starting to creep a little bit closer to the Crossley. David Kelly and the Crossley dropped back a little bit on that lap, but meanwhile up at the front, top two, Forsberry getting right on the back of Donnelly as some of the cars lower down the order trying to swap places down at turn 7A and 7B. So still it's Donnelly from Forsberry, so I think Forsberry's putting pressure on here and it's slowing the two of them down. He tries to go up the inside, Donnelly leans on him, won't let him take that just cuts off the room at the very last minute, and he has to back out of it. It's allowed the Crossley to join right up on the back of him. Meanwhile, further back down, we've one of the Lenhams with a couple of the Chevrons. So there's Dyson all the way down the field as Forsberry goes to the outside. Try and get a slingshot and get on the inside on the way down the straight. Doesn't look like he's got enough of a drive out of the corners. They come down past the main straight to complete their second lap. So 156 for Forsberry, 157 for Kelly, who's shown in second place. So I'm trying to figure out there may be a problem with the transponder here. The number 19 car is actually shown currently down in 7th place on the timing, but I'm sure there's some sort of a. Well, we'll see how that. We're just looking now. It's just come up on the screen. Jump start penalty for 19 and 111. So the 19 Chevron of Donnelly's going to have to get a move on if it's going to get back up the field. His time penalty currently puts him down in 7th place, but there's no reason why he can't still fight for the lead here, because he's got to keep those other cars back. If they get by him and get away from him, he'll never overcome that 10-second penalty. So at the moment he's still under loads of pressure from the 55, the red Chevron, as he makes him go to the outside. But it looks like he missed a gear there. There's a big puff of smoke, and could have been a missed gear as he came down. He slowed suddenly and allowed the 55 Chevron, the red one of Forsberry, to get by into the lead. So now Donnelly's got to fight back. And meanwhile, it's Kelly closing up on the back of Donnelly, and it looks like Forsberry could disappear off up the road now after that. We're 34 minutes ago, just over 5.5 minutes into this race. But I think now that he's got clear, we could see the leader streak away. But behind him, it's all closing up again. There's a car that was on the back of the grid coming through, and we need to pick up the number on that. So that's the 111, the other car with the jump start penalty. But he was way down the back of the grid. So 111 goes across the line, showing in having passed the McLaren. Now he's showing in 4th now, even though it does say that there is a 10-second penalty applied. So don't think that penalty has been applied yet, because he's showing in 4th, just 7 seconds behind the leader. So that may change, but he's the Stokes car, the 111, the Lenham P70, is really flying. Beautiful colour scheme on that car with the reflective silver paint on it and the stripes. It's a gorgeous car, and these Lenhams were quick yesterday. So closing on the back of the Crossley, but he really got his work cut out because of that 10-second penalty. The Forsberry 55 Chevron very quick, so he's got to overcome him and also get 10 seconds ahead of him. We'll watch the cars going through Lola corner. The Donnelly car slowed right back as the Stokes car comes through, now up to 3rd on the road. Now his penalty is definitely being applied now, and he's back down to 8th place overall. So we'll see when they cross the line how that changes. But for the moment, sitting in 3rd on the road, but a lot of work to do. The drivers in 2nd and 3rd have a lot of work to do if they're going to stay on the podium in this one, because they're actually behind the 2 cars they're running in front of in terms of time. Then actually not that far behind this group again, it's another one of the Lenhams, which is, or sorry, I'm not sure which car it is. Another one of the we'll try and pick the number up now as they come through, but there is another one. It looks like one of the Lenhams closing in on the back of this group. So that's actually 31, Tusting, who's come up. Tusting from 12th on the grid, come up. Sorry, I'm getting the wrong. It wasn't Stokes, it's Tusting who's come up, and they're not the ones with the 10-second penalty. So it's Tusting now showing in 2nd place. Third on the road, but shown in 2nd place. So the cars continue on around through into the there's very unusual passing place there into the first part of Brains Bends. So Robert Tusting up into second place on the road and second place overall. Still David Kelly shown in third place, and then it's the Soul McLaren in the field next up. Then it's the 111 car of Stokes, of Julian Stokes, who's been making great progress. So the running order after just over 10 minutes of this 40-minute race is it's the 55 Chevron B8 of David Forsberry from the number 31 of Robert Tusting, and then we have the 26 David Kelly, the first of the Irish crews. Next on the road is the number 97 of Adam Sykes, and then it's our first solo driver out there is number 42 Hugh Coleman. So the Donnelly car is now down in 7th place, it's still down in 7th place, and the 111 of Stokes is showing in 8th. I'm looking back down the field to see if we can find the first of our sports cars rather than the GTs. So trying to pick them out as they come through Bahrain's Bends. Field going through there. Well spread out down the field, but up at the front there's still quite a battle going on as we get a change of position for third place. So it's Adam Sykes moving up into third place ahead of the David Kelly Crossley 9S. So it's the 111 Lenham Lenham P70. It's just a 1600cc engine and got car, very quick little car, very low slung, very impressive little cars, these Lenhams. A few of them in the field who've been very impressed with them this weekend. So our leader heads through turn 3, still with a decent lead of 3.5 seconds over Robert Tusting. Next, coming up over the hill then, is the car that's currently shown down in 19th place, running third on the road, but they're not making any inroads into that 10-second penalty that we're given for a jump start. So the actual third on the road now is number 111 from 14th on the grid. Quite a performance by Julian Stokes. Go through Lola Corner, down the long straight, down towards the downhill braking area for turn 7A and 7B. Crossley not making the impression that it made yesterday. It's through 7A and 7B. It is quick through there, okay, but the McLaren with the punch up the hill, that's quite a steep slope. You don't get any idea of it on the camera there, but the McLaren with the grunt that it has from the 5-litre Chevy engine in it, it certainly has the power to catch up with the Crossley. Crossley's much better through the twistier bits as we watch David Kelly now heading into Devaney, sliding the car a little bit, and then the McLaren comes through, and it's when it's on the exit of the corners that the McLaren really shows its prowess. But meanwhile, closing in on third place on the road is the 111 Julian Stokes, the Lenham P70. So the Donnelly car still in contention. You never know what could happen in the pit stops, but it's still got a lot of work to do if it's going to hold on to that third position. It may be third on the road, but the 10-second penalty currently still leaving it down in 5th place. As we watch the McLaren going through the first part of turn 3. The Crossley through the twistier bits has got a little bit of room, a little bit of space there. But as they go out onto the faster, newer section out on the international loop, that's where the McLaren comes into its own. Closing in there, but much more unwieldy through the corner, sliding around. Front wheels and back wheels sliding. Gets it a little bit wrong though, comes out of the corner a bit wide, but still has the grunt to make up for that as it heads up the hill. As we watch the third place on the road, Donnelly car just ahead of Julian Stokes. Meanwhile, the gap at the front has come down. Robert Tusting has dropped the gap down to 2.8 seconds to David Forsberry. Was really closing. A very impressive performance by this car from 12th on the grid. We didn't see anything like this from them yesterday. Very smooth through turns out, and we've a spinner up at south side corner, number 104. It's Michael Richings, listed as 39 in the programme. That's a Merlin SR Mark IV, and then the MGB comes through behind him. But meanwhile, the leaders are coming up to lap cars for the first time after 16 minutes. Getting on for 16 minutes of the race, and we should be coming into pit window, and we are. The pit window is now open, so we can see drivers wandering out onto the track to get ready to make the change. So this could change the race, or it might not. Yesterday the pit stops were interrupted, or some of them took place under safety cars, some of them didn't, so it really did interrupt the race. As it stands, the gap at the front is down to 1.2 seconds. Fastest lap of the race for Robert Tusting, 1 minute 53.054. Closed the gap down to 1.2 seconds, just the right time to do it. It'd be, for him, the idea now would be to get into the pits right on the tail of the leader. Leader comes in, he'll probably follow him in. Although it could make even more ground here as the leader gets tangled up with the back markers. The Cook MG gets in the way. Connor Cook inadvertently got in the way. He was trying to pull to the left to get out of the way of the faster car, which also went to the left. So unfortunately he's been slowed even more, and that's let the Lenham P70 close right in now, and he's putting a lot of pressure on him coming in. If they come in the pits together, there'll be a lot of pressure on the crew for the Chevron in the front to hold on to that lead. So we'll see now, we could see the first of our pit stops as they come up through Bahrain's Bends. And our third place driver is also catching the slower cars there. So we'll see what the gap is down to when they exit the pits. I presume they're going to be coming into the pits this time around. The drivers are out in the pit lane, and we have the first of our pit stoppers. But the leader goes on, and the second place man has made his pit stop. So this is going to be interesting when he rejoins, where the Chevron B8 rejoins in relation to him. But the Lenham, they're waving at him to carry on up the pits. So Robert Tusting will be getting out of the car, and it's Ben Tusting to get in. So as I said, there's no real hurry in the pit stops. There's a minimum time you've got to be in the pits to make it equalise it for everybody, whether you're a single driver or a double driver. So if a double driver comes in, they just sit in their car until the required time is elapsed, and then off they go again. And here we see Ben Tusting being strapped into the number 31, taking their time to do it properly, make sure that everything's done up tight because they're in no hurry, checking the tyre pressures, which have probably gone up, probably up too high. Just dropped them a little bit usually. Yeah, so you can see them holding on. If you're watching on the live stream, you can see them holding on to the gauge, onto the valve for quite a bit of time. They're obviously letting a bit of air out of the tyres. They've obviously got a little bit too hot. So they're showing him the clock, I think, in terms of his time. I'd say that's what they're doing in terms of his time to leave. They're keeping their own countdown of it. So another one of the B8s comes into the pits. Meanwhile, the leader carries on. Number 31 comes out. So this is going to be interesting now. 31 is now the first driver on the road who has done a pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody falls in behind him now as he comes around. Meanwhile, the Chevron's got himself tied up, a very slow lap. It's going to be now behind the Marcos. Real difficulty getting by the Marcos. In fairness to the Marcos driver, he was at the one point of the circuit where you really have to stick to the line through Bahrain's Bends. There wasn't a lot he could do. The Donnelly car is still under pressure from the Lenham, and here comes our leader into the pits, and now we've got to see if he can get it done, get himself down the pit lane, get changed over and get back out. And even if he's right on the limit in terms of time, it's still going to be close, because there was only there was less than a second between them when the second place driver pitted. A little bit more difficult to get in and out of these chevrons, as you can see, a bit of a struggle. So I'd say they're delighted that there's a minimum time you got to be in there. You can see the cars are less than waist height for these drivers, so it's a bit of a struggle getting in and out, and also quite a stretch across for the other member of the team to do the belts up on the other side. So we'll see now. We're watching out for our the first driver on the road who's actually completed his pit stop, and that was the Tustin car number 31. So watching out as they sit in the pits waiting for the required time to elapse. We're looking out to see if we can find the number 31 car, and he seems to be coming through. Haven't quite picked up on him yet. It's obviously a slow outlap from the driver. No sign of him coming through. Sorry, I got that wrong. I just missed him. There he goes, and he's right on the tail. Tyres all warmed up. He's right on the tail of the leader now, and he's going to be closing in on them as they go down into braking for the first turn. So the chevron's sliding around a lot. The tyres will have cooled down a little bit. Everything's back up to speed on the second place Lenham. So that as they head down into turn 3, the Lenham is right back where it was before the pit stops, within a second. As the McLaren carries on around, I'm not sure, we didn't see them. I don't think we saw the McLaren in the pits yet. So still on the road, they haven't done their pit stop yet. It's Martin Donnelly in the Owen and Donnelly car. So they will be coming in now shortly. They will have to, or they'll run out the pit lane have a closing time. So everybody coming into the pits now as the McLaren continues on down the straight and goes into the lead of the race. So the McLaren is now leading. And as we wait to see what the gaps are, it's going to take a little bit of time to settle down on the screens here. Currently number 6, Nick Thompson, the Chevron B6, shown in second place. So obviously he hasn't pitted either. But now the leaders are right close together. Well, what we think will be the leaders once all of this is settled down. The Chevron B8 and the Lenham, and the B8 is going to run off the road through Paddock Bend, right out over the grass. Really being pushed hard. The driver new to the car obviously hasn't adapted as quickly. He's one less lap in the car than Rob Tusting. So Tusting is now taking the lead. What a drive. Great performance there as number 19 and 111 head back out. And the driver in 19 is Martin Donnelly, who will come in, and it's Mark Owen now who's in number 19. And he's got his work cut out, shown down in 5th place as the Crossley comes down to the main straight. And they're currently shown down in 26th place. Sorry, in 8th place, number 26, down in 8th place. Well down, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe they had a slow pit stop, or maybe they're just waiting for a bit of the pit stop action to settle down, but they're now behind the 2 cars with the 10-second penalty. So I think it is possible that they haven't pitted, or that some of the cars ahead of them haven't pitted yet. So the Lenham now has a cameraman found it hard to find him there, running a very wide line around Lola Corner as they head down through Daly's Drift and down into turn 7A and 7B, and they will be the leaders when it all settles down. So they're out now around Devaney's Bend, or heading up towards Borain's Bends as the pit stops continue. And here we have our second place driver now, and that's Mark Owen, who's got the job of trying to haul in Ben Tusting. Ben Tusting. And obviously that off for Andrew Newell, the man in 55. Now it slowed him down a lot. He was very slow through paddock, being very careful there. And still the two cars then with the 10-second penalty. Number 19 and number 111, they're fighting it out. So with the pit stop settling down, the Mark Owen car is now up into third place. So despite the penalty, they're still holding on to that place on the podium. There must have been a problem on the Kelly and Doyle pit stop. Stephen Doyle in the car now, as they're still showing they've moved up to 5th place, but they were ahead of the two cars with the 10-second penalty, but they're now behind. I'm looking at how far back, to 32 seconds back from the leader, so they lost a lot of ground there. So with 14 minutes to go, just under 15 minutes to go, it's looking very good for the Tusting pairing. Robert and Ben Tusting, looking very good for them as they head down into turn 7A and 7B. They're showing a lead of 4.9 seconds at the flag, but they'll have grown by now. They're pulling away all the time. As they come up to lap more traffic, we're trying to have a look at the gap now. So we see the Tusting car go through, and no sign in the background anymore of the Andrew Newell car. And there he goes. They're waiting for the leader to come through, and that the car behind him on screen there he is, well down the order, one of the Chevron B8s. So Tusting heads through Southside Motor Factors onto the main straight, just under 14 minutes to go. All the pit stops completed now, everything's settling down. Andrew Newell, second place. See if we can close that gap. It's currently 5.4 seconds. He did have his one less lap under his belt than Ben Tusting. So hopefully when he gets up to speed he can close that gap down. We get a bit more of a race out of this, but it actually looks like he's dropping back. The gap is 5.4 seconds, but those two are well clear of the Martin Donnelly and Mark Owen car, which is now 23 seconds back, 13 seconds back on the road, but with a 10-second penalty. And then the 111 from the back of the grid. Pity about his 10-second penalty. It would have been a great performance. Julian Stokes and Westy Mitchell. Westy Mitchell in the car at the moment. As we watch the leader once again heading down into turn 7A and 7B. Cross the curb, let the car run out to the outside and back, and just clip a little bit of the curb on the inside. You don't want to hit too much curb there and get pushed wide. The bank is very close to the side of the road. Then it's up into Bahrain's Bends, a late turn in, keeping it over to the right and then back to the left. And the Chevron B8s are taking a lot of curb, but this Lennon P70, they don't take the curbs at all. Stays well clear again. Very neat and tidy car though. And round to complete another lap, and I would say that gap has grown. Andrew Newell car definitely further back now, pushing a little bit harder through turn 3 now, but the off of turn 3 earlier was a double whammy as he lost time the first time when he went off, but then the second lap he was very tentative through it. He got a bit more up to speed now as the gap goes out to 6.6 seconds. Meanwhile, the Mark Owen car has pulled away from the Westy Mitchell, so the 111 car is dropping back. Looking out on the road to see how far back on the road the David Kelly car is, or sorry, it's Stephen Doyle in it now, as he comes through, followed by the 42 of solo driver Hugh Coleman. So they're under pressure from Hugh Coleman, but Stephen Doyle knows his way around this place. Coleman has the lights on, so he obviously feels like he can catch up. It looks like we have a safety car out. We can't see the reason for it, but we do have a safety car. So wait to see if our cameras can pick up where that is. We see safety car going around, heading through turn 2, the BMW Ireland safety car. I'm not sure if they've picked up the leaders. So this could be a long safety car session as they get it all sorted out, and we've just 11 minutes left. They have not picked up the leaders, so they're going to have to let a lot of cars go by. They've actually picked up the 5th place driver. So we're waiting to see where we have see the safety car boards out with the marshals all around the circuit. There's the BMW Ireland safety car. It's picked up the 5th place and 6th place cars. That was developing into a bit of a battle, but now they'll have a chance to cool off. It's going to be a bit of a... It's going to take a bit of time to sort this out, even if they've cleared whatever the incident is, and we still haven't seen what that is yet. It's going to take a while to sort this pace car train out, because they haven't picked up the leaders, and the leaders are a long way behind them on the road. So the pace car is heading down into 7A and 7B, and the leaders are only coming through Southside Motor Factors onto the main straight now, so it's going to take a long time for them to catch up. So the safety car is now slowing right down to allow them to catch, and also waving those cars by. So they'll have to stay in formation as they come around and join back up on the train again. Still no idea why what the safety car has been sent out for. You can't see any movement of rescue vehicles or any movement from the marshals on any of our cameras here, so I don't know what the delay is going to be, so hopefully it won't take too long. And actually the safety car has been brought in, so bit of a mystery what was going on there. All it's really done is drop the 5th and 6th place guys even further back from the leaders, so the leaders will be back up to speed now because the safety car is being withdrawn. Wonder will they understand that, and will they see that the boards are in and that they... So no green flags being shown as yet. Although they are now, it seems that the leaders seem to be back up to race speed. As they're heading out of 7A and up towards Bahrain-Benz. Let's see if they're back racing again. No, still touring by the look of it. So it will probably be that they'll get the green flag when they get back to the start line. But it's so far, I don't see them getting back up to speed. No, it's still coming through relatively slowly. Although they do appear now to be back up to speed. So, a little bit of confusion there for a minute, but with just 7.5 minutes go, we're back to racing. We've still got the Lennon P70 of number 31 in the lead, followed by the Newell 55 Chevron B8. Then as a gap back to the two drivers with the 10-second penalty. That's Mark Owen and Westy Mitchell. And then the guys who got delayed, but it wasn't going to affect their overall positions, but it's meant that they are much closer together on the road. Hugh Coleman and Stephen Doyle, and they've actually swapped places now, with Hugh Coleman streaking ahead up to Southside, but then the lighter, smaller Crossley 9S closes in on their braking. So he's right on the back. This will be a real challenge now for Stephen, well used to driving historic cars of various types around this track, and he's trying to close back down now on the Hugh Coleman Chevron B8 in the Crossley 9S, the Northern Irish built Crossley 9S, as we watch the Lennon coming through Lola corner, already building that gap again that he lost due to the deployment of the safety car. And then it's Andrew Newell driving the 55, and he took over from David Forestry. I think his only hope now is that the leader gets held up by some of these back markers, because the gap is already starting to grow again. It was 1.355 at the start of the last lap. Blue flags are out. Conor Cook about to get lapped for the second time. Up over the curbs, Conor stays well out of the way. Good piece of driving that, stays well out of the way on the left. It's actually Kevin Flanagan who's in the car at the moment. It was Connor who was in it earlier. And we've a spinner at paddock. So we can't see who that is, but they were it spun right across the road onto the right hand side of the road as we were looking down from the south side corner. So there's a spinner on the road at paddock. Hopefully that'll be cleared. Just looking to see. No, still stuck there in the entrance to the pit lane actually at the moment. So you can see he's trying to get himself going again. Is that 111? It is 111, the car that came from almost from the back of the grid. And he appears to have a problem. It could be a suspension problem or something. The car seems to be snaking on him, so it's possible that off was caused by a mechanical rather than anything else. The hand's in the air now as he comes down the main straight. So hopefully he'll be able to pull in at the end of the main straight. That's an awful pity for car number 117, being driven by Westy Mitchell. They'd almost made up for their jump start and were challenging for that podium place. But now that's been handed over to Mark Owen and Martin Donnelly. So we pick up the leader. Gap 2.3 last time they crossed the line. Definitely over, closer to 4 seconds now. So it looks like, barring any issues with the car, this is going to be a win for the two Tustings. Ahead of Forsbury and Newell, and with Owen and Donnelly well clear of Hugh Coleman. I think our order could well be set. So Tusting easily the quickest driver on the track at the moment, Ben Tusting, with a 1 minute 50.452. Nearly 2 seconds quicker than the next driver. And he picked up over a second on Newell the last time around. Here he comes down to complete another lap. 3 minutes 59 to go, so that's 3 laps to go, I'd say. As the Tustings head through, the Tusting car heads through turn 2, through Campion Corner, down towards turn 3. By the Beacon Hospital signs there on the inside of turn 3. As we wait and watch, well, we're not going to watch this time, we just caught a glimpse of the number 55 car in second. With Andrew Newell on board, there he is. I'd say at this stage he's just trying to bring it home. The Donnelly car, it's now the Mark Owen car. Mark Owen and Donnelly is closing in on them, but he's got a lot of work to do. He was 15 seconds behind, which means he's 5 seconds behind on the road, but with a 10-second penalty, so he's got a lot of work to do. He's going to make that time up. Probably will catch him, but I don't think he's going to make up the time for second place. So it looks like the order at the front is fairly well settled now. Just got to get these cars to the flag. With a beautiful silver Lenham P70 comes through the first part of Bahrain's Benz. And we wait then for our second place car, Chevron B8, and then it's another Chevron B8, should just be coming into shot now. As we move over to Paddock Bend, there's the third place car of Mark Owen. There's our leader, goes into south side. And he definitely will do 2 more laps. So they're coming down with 2 minutes 7 seconds to go, 1 minute 52 laps, so 2 laps to go in this race. Great showing put on by these cars in the early race. A little bit interrupted then by the mechanical failure and the intervention of the safety car, which spread the field out. Looking to see if the battle for 4th place or 5th and 6th place fourth and fifth place between Coleman and Doyle is still raging on, and it is. And Crossley tries to go up the inside at the Vannies. They're coming down through Paddock Bend now. Chevron B8 still holds the advantage. Lights on to show Connor Cook's co-driver Kevin Flanagan that they're coming, but he needs to watch out what's behind him, not what's in front of him, because Stephen Doyle's on a mission here. He's going to try and get this place back. Held it for a long time until they were slowed down by the safety car, and since then he's been behind. So he's got 2 laps left to try and make the difference here. by the Flanagan car quickly enough, so that hasn't really disrupted the battle. But the Hugh Coleman car streaks away on the way down to turn 3. Stephen Doyle following him through, trying to close the gap, but it's not looking like he can at the moment. Meanwhile, at the front, the gap is out to 4.47 seconds. So this is the only real battle on track at the moment. The Chevron B8 heading up into Lola corner. Crossley closes in a little bit, takes a much tighter line through there. But the Chevron probably has the speed down the straight. The Crossley will have it on the brakes down into turn 7A and 7B. So we see closes in a little bit, but not enough. He's going to have to get a lot closer than that on the last, if he's going to have a go on the last lap. Slides it just a little bit coming through by the apex of the second part, 7B. They head up into Bahrain's Benz. And now the Crossley is right on the tail of the Chevron B8. B8 takes a wide line at the second part of the Bahrain's Benz S's there, and then starts to defend. Crossley even sliding around now. It's not what you normally see from these Crossley 9S cars. As we head through Paddock Bend, who's going to be the bravest through there? It's a place where you can gain or lose a lot of time. If you get it wrong, go out over the gravel on the edge of the corner, on the exit of the corner, you're going to lose a lot of time. But if you get it right, you can get a lot of ground. And the Crossley has got it right, and he's right up on the back of the Chevron as they start their last lap. So David Kelly and Stephen Doyle managed to get onto the podium yesterday. They're not going to manage that today, but they could take 4th place. Again, through turns 1 and 2, Kelly loses ground, or Stephen Doyle loses ground. So he's losing ground at the start of the lap and closing it all back in at the end of the lap, but it's just not enough to enable him to have a go up the hill into the final corner south side. Meanwhile, our leader has backed it off a little bit. The gap's down to 1.725 coming through Paddock Bend now and up into the final corner, coming down. The checkered flag is being prepared by Robert Elliott on the flag, and here they come. The leaders have closed up together, but I'm sure it's just Ben Tusting slowing down to make sure he makes it safely to the finish. So here he comes through. Great performance by the Tustings from 12th on the grid through to take the lead. Second place to the Forsbury and Newell car, and third despite their 10-second penalty. We're just watching them making their way past some of the other cars there, coming down to the line alongside the McLaren. It's going to be the Mark Owen Martin Donnelly car takes 3rd place. And Hugh Coleman and Stephen Doyle battle is still going on somewhere out there, and there is a back marker in the way. They're coming through Bahrain's Benz now, and Stephen Doyle is all over the back of Coleman. You'd have to think that Coleman's going to get tired. He's been out there for the whole race, the whole 40-minute race. So Kelly needs to really throw it at Paddock Bend if he's going to catch up here. I was waiting to see them coming through. He goes right over the curb, but I just don't see him being close enough. The back marker's not going to be a factor. So Coleman goes defensive into the last corner, as you'd expect. Kelly's going to get a better run out of the corner, but he's not going to be close enough. It's going to be a fine 4th place for Hugh Coleman, followed home by Stephen Doyle. So another great performance by the Guards Trophies cars, and I'll be back to you in a couple of minutes with the podium presentations.
Well, that was another great race there for the Guards Trophy. Some fantastic sports cars from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Great racing there, and really exciting early part to it, and then disrupted by the pace car. But a great race and loss. We're delighted to have them here, and we're going to invite Amanda Bahrain up, please, if she can come up and present the trophies. So Amanda Bahrain, Martin Bahrain's daughter, is going to present these trophies for us. So we'll just wait until Amanda is up here and in place, and then we'll call up the drivers. So Amanda's come down here. So once we call them up, I'll get you to just hand them up the trophy and the champagne, please. So in third place was Mark Owen and Martin Donnelly. Great to see Irish racing legend Martin Donnelly up on the podium here. That side. And this, of course, is for the Irish International Grand Prix trophy, so the big perpetual trophy that's there, that they won't get to hang on to, but they'll get their names inscribed on. And then in second place, we've David Forsberry and Andrea Newell. Joined us on the podium yesterday. They were on top spot yesterday, second today. Another good performance by these guys with the chevron. So second place. And then our winners, Robert and Ben Tusting. Great drive from well down the grid. Fantastic performance to come through and take the win. Just give them that one first and then that one. So first of all, they're getting their trophy that they can keep. Between the two of them, hop up there on the top spot. And then Amanda's going to hand over the Irish International Grand Prix trophy, a fine big trophy that we inaugurated a couple of years ago. We handed over there to the two of them. So well done to our top two in the Guards Trophy second race for the Irish International Grand Prix trophy. That's you finished. So we'll have a quick word. Well, I don't know if we can have a quick word with Martin Donnelly. There's never an Irishman you can have a quick word with, but Martin, it's great to see you back in Mondello and up on the podium.
Well, you know, it's been a long, long time. I mean, most of these guys were done about 40 years ago, you know. But it's a great atmosphere. Fair play to the organisers. They've got a great turnout today. Thank you to Mark, and the team at Owen Motorsport for giving us a great car, to Andrew. It's been a fantastic weekend, and we can't wait to spray this again because it's been a long time since I sprayed one of these.
Yeah, but whatever you sprayed is probably better quality than that, but you'll enjoy spraying it anyway. But I'd say is this the kind of thing that you do now, the historic stuff, more than anything more modern?
No, I've more or less retired myself until I got a phone call from Mark. But I do the stewarding at Goodwood for the members meeting and revival, so it's a good way to go for a weekend and follow it with your friends, you know.
So it'd be great to see you back in the car more often. Thank you very much. Do you want to say a word, Mark, or are you happy for him to do all the talking? No, okay, we'll move over. Who's doing the talking here today? Andrew. Andrew, I got it right after yesterday. You were made do all the talking yesterday as well, weren't you?
No, Dave did it all yesterday. I never thought we'd get him off the microphone, actually. No, what a brilliant weekend. I have to say, we've never been here before. Probably one of the best tracks in Europe. Absolutely fantastic. Little gem hidden away. Great place.
Okay, well, we'd love to have you back again, so maybe we can get the Guards Trophy back again someday.
We'll be here for sure.
We love your cars and we loved your performance today. Thank you very much. We're glad you enjoyed our circuit. Who's going to do the talking, Robert or Ben? And you are?
I'm Robert, the father. I'm the one who started. And then
hang on, we put the mic on.
Okay, I'm the one who started, then I'll lead over to the star driver. Just have to bring it in. But first of all, I just want to say fantastic event by Mondello. Amazing. And then after yesterday, thanks to our team, Bill and Jack, they worked all night to get the car put back together. And it just, luckily, it held together just about to the end. So it was a great event. Really enjoyed it.
And would you like to say a few words as well?
Yeah, just as the father said, it was a great event. Lots of crowd, and especially there was one family just before they said good luck, so it must have been the Irish luck, I don't know.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Great performance. Great to see these guys here. Stand back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try and hide as best I can. Didn't do very well there, but as usual, enjoying themselves. We've got our bike demonstrations out on circuit at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't be in two places at the one time, so I can't give you any commentary on what's going on out there. Some beautiful bikes, mainly 250, 350 and 500cc two-stroke bikes. Some fantastic ex-MotoGP bikes. Look out for number 45 in particular, the 2012 MotoGP Suitor. And then we have the ex-Barry Sheen bikes. They're easy enough to spot. Just look out for the number 7. The bikes are all listed in the programme. I will make a quick run up to the top of the tower and hopefully give you some information on them. And then after that, it'll be back to our car demo, and hopefully Leo will be back to join us by then.
We watch a couple of the bikes going down the pit lane now, back up in the tower to hopefully talk you through some of the machinery that's out there. Looking out specifically for the ex-Barry Sheen bikes, number 7 that have been brought over from the UK, and also our UK visitor Ian King as the number 2 bike goes down the straight there. That's an ex Joe Miller Racing MotoGP bike that was ridden by Eddie Laycock and Jeremy McWilliams in Grand Prix. And a lot of these bikes that are out here have histories going back a long time. Going down by the grandstand now is Max Schweisnitz on one of the few 4-stroke super bikes out there on the circuit, number 3 going by the grandstand. And that's one of Mike Meskel's bikes. Mike has a few bikes out there today. So we're looking out to see if we can pick up on the Ian Simpson bikes, or the Ian Simpson and there's the MotoGP bike, the 2012 MotoGP bike of Robin Heathcote. That's the Suter MotoGP bike. And unfortunately, it looks like I've missed a lot of the session because I wasn't available to commentate on it, but I hope that you enjoyed seeing them go by. That's going down by the grandstand now is a brand new TZ250. It's been sitting in a box since it was built way back, and it's only been unboxed and taken out, and there's virtually no mileage on it. And it's owned by Dennis Clancy, who said he'd never ride it, but then he finally gave in and has taken it out, and he's had a great time on it here this weekend. And he probably devalued it because it's not in the box anymore, but he's having fun on it, which is probably more important to him. I'd say we'll get a lot of the riders coming in now because it looks like there's a bit of rain coming down, and the last thing any of these riders want to do with these very expensive bikes and very rare bikes is to let them drop. And there's Dennis' brother Carl going by on his ex-Dennis Trollope Racing TZ250. And then we've one of the older 350 Yamahas. Most of these bikes 2-stroke engine bikes rather than the 4-strokes that we're used to in racing nowadays. So hopefully they'll all make it back in safely and get them back down and on display down at the back of the see. Clifford Stewart's already pulled his bike in. He's not running it anymore. See that down? And there's another one heading into the pits. So I also see the ex-Miller Yamaha. I think that's I'm not sure who's riding that, pulling into the pits very slowly. These bikes will be out on slick racing tyres. I think that's Mike Meskel on his Rock Yamaha coming through the final corner. It's not actually, it's Kieran Donnelly on the ex-Eugene Donnelly Gene Donnelly bike. So there's a few bikes out there that are in Miller colours, and that is a genuine Formula 2 World Championship bike that was ridden by Gene McDonald. I said Donnelly a minute ago. Gene McDonald, so it's Kieran McDonald. We see them all coming in. There's Max coming in now, and also Dennis Clancy and Robin Heathcote. So they don't like these weather conditions, so they're all pulling in. Flag was out anyway, but they're all coming in. So that's the end of our bike action for this weekend. Big thank you to all the guys who've brought their bikes here and put them on display. If you want to get a closer look at them, go down the back of the paddock, down by the back of the garages, and right down at the very end you'll find them all clustered together, a little family of bikers down there at the end. Some beautiful bikes on display, so thanks very much to all of them for coming and supporting us. And we'll be handing over now to the car demonstration, and Leo should be back to talk you through that.
Back on track at the Mondello Park Carole Nash Historic Festival, and it's the Martin Borain collection on track. So David Kennedy, there he comes in the Ford C100, the car that Ford built to try and beat Porsche at Le Mans. David drove this car in period, and he's also a multiple Le Mans class winner. So it's apt that he leads this charge out. Then Ian Beattie in the BMW M1. Alex Dunn in the Spice this time, and Mike Nugent in the Argo Formula Atlantic. So a few spots around on the camera now out of turn 3 as the cars come back up towards us, all on slick racing tyres, and not exactly new slick racing tyres. These are museum pieces, so it's just a demonstration run. But David Kennedy having great fun today. He spoke at the lunch for the Mondello Park guests just a few moments ago, and then put on a suit and jumped into this car. Ian Beattie, the sporting director here at Mondello Park, does loads of work, also involved in the running of this race meeting and taking a few minutes out to have a go in this BMW M1. Ian is very experienced at handling the museum cars. He's driven many of them. He's driven this particular car on many occasions. The BMW M1 is a car that BMW built to take on Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati as a road car. And then they built a series of them, and they brought them to Grand Prix weekends in the late 70s for Grand Prix drivers to race on the Saturday. Imagine that. So Regazzoni, Villeneuve, Lauda, all these drivers would have had to go on these cars back in the day. Martin Borain bought this actual car. I did a little bit of work to it. I brought it to Le Mans where he won his class in that car. So it's Hans Stuck is the name of the driver, and on the side of the car he would have raced that car as a pro car. And Martin Borain took it to Le Mans, a very, very valuable car, and one that Ian Beattie is entrusted with on a regular basis. Ian just lives down the road here at Mondello Park, puts a lot of work in, would have worked very hard this week with Roddy Green and his team ahead of this event, and getting a little bit of a breather as he sits into that BMW now and brings it around the track. So great to see those three cars together. We're celebrating 100 years of the Le Mans race, and that's why these cars are on track. Mike Nugent in the Argo just having a quick run with these cars when they come out, but these are all from the museum. If you haven't been to the museum behind the grandstand, go down and have a look. It's absolutely fantastic. So David Kennedy now and Alex Dunn in the two Le Mans cars from the Group C days. So just taking the loop there at the on the international loop. Little shortcut so they don't have to do the whole track, because this is just a demonstration. Although Alex Dunn didn't get the memo by the look of it. Drives by David Kennedy on the way up to Southside Motor Factory's corner. Here they come out onto the main straight. Great sound effects from all these cars. The Spice is powered by a 1.9 turbocharged engine, somewhere around 600 brake horsepower. So huge power, but a lot of lag in the car. A little bit difficult to drive, no problem for Alex Dunn. Alex Dunn, one of the top prospects in Irish motor racing at the moment, and he's supported by Martin Borain Foundation. The Borain family support him, and Mondello Park also support him. And Harris, of course, Denise Harris, a big supporter of Alex Dunn's, and he's doing so well at the minute. He's definitely the next big hope for Irish single-seater racing on the path to Formula 1. He has had inquiries from some of the Formula 1 teams for their junior academies. Noel Dunn has been single-minded in his drive to bring his son as far up the single-seater ranks, and he's done a wonderful job. He's gone through karts, he's gone through various different classes. He's now in GB3 in the UK, so pretty much British Formula 3, and he's winning. He had a tough start to the year, wasn't really working, and they checked the car out and found out that it was a crack in the tub of his car. They changed the tub, and straight away he started blitzing everybody. So it's a throwback to the 70s, to Derek Daly, to David Kennedy, to Tommy Byrne, people like that. Irish talent really on the world stage, and Alex Dunn doing superbly. There's the checkered flag for Alex. He goes by David Kennedy next through. Then it's Ian Beattie in the BMW M1, and Mike Nugent in that beautiful Formula Atlantic car, the Argo. That's worth a look if you get a chance. In fact, all these cars absolutely immaculate. All the cars in the museum are running, and the ones that aren't, all the cars bar a few, and the ones that aren't there are plans to get them running. So the Sebastian Bourdais Indy car, the McDonald's sponsored car, relatively modern, well, in relative terms, that car will be running soon. The Porsche 962 that we have is away being worked on. That was supposed to be back for this weekend but wasn't ready in time. The MG Lola, the famous car that nearly won Le Mans, is also away in the UK, having worked on. Those cars will come back. They will be back running and they will be back on track for demonstrations such as these. There's David Kennedy. David Kennedy, a man with a meteoric 1600cc Formula 4 career up through, won the European Championship, Irish Championships, raced everywhere, and then Formula 1, got all the way to British Formula 1 and almost won the championship. And then got a few Formula 1 drives. He did race in Formula 1, but he didn't get a top-line drive. So he went to race sports cars and had huge success in sports cars. So David Kennedy now very much involved in the management of Mandela Park. And Howard Dawson, who we're delighted to have here today. And then he comes back into the pits in the Ford C100. Worth a Google, that car. I think it's very, very valuable. That's the car that Ford built to try and beat Porsche and take a Le Mans win. So Ian Beattie using the full international loop on that slowdown lap, perhaps to get a little bit of cool air into the BMW M1. He did say it was running a little bit hot this morning. So they're not built for slow laps, these cars. They're built for high-speed laps. So Ian knows exactly what he's doing. Very experienced at handling the museum cars, Ian Beattie. He's driven this car on a number of occasions here and in Goodwood. And he's driven the Lola T90 as well. So many, many cars from him and massive experience.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating Auto Test Challenge.
There you go, a little bit of live entertainment from the Celtic drummers in front of the grandstand. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and the reason that they're doing that is because they're drumming in the next race, which is the Dublin Grand Prix, another one of the big trophies this weekend at Mondello Park. And on pole position, it's unusual you say this in a pre-55 race, is a European GT4 racer. It's Alex Denning. Alongside him, Shane Houlihan, Ken McAvoy, Ed Cassidy, Eric Kavanagh, John Luttrell, Tom Mullins, Nick Bellett and Tony Canny. They will go, I sound like the gladiators here, on my whistle they'll go. They'll start off, and then I think it's 20 seconds later, Simon Blakeney Edwards and Joanna Blakeney Edwards, the two of the really quick Fraser Nashes, and then about a minute later, we're going to let Brewster, Wiley and Chilcott go. If you watched the coverage yesterday, you will see how incredibly quick. You think the Formula Ford race was tough. These guys were launching it down the inside, almost interlocking wheels. They're well able to drive these cars. They're highly competitive, and I think they will catch the Irish pre-55 cars. Alex Denning, no doubt, will have other ideas, but I'm not sure that Riley he has will be quick enough to hold off those Fraser Nashes. So let's see what happens. The Dublin Grand Prix is next at the Carole Nash Mondello Park Historic Festival.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating auto test challenge. Mondello Park, so much more than just a racetrack.
Here we go, Dublin Grand Prix time. And on pole position is Alex Denning. Remember the name, top GT driver, instructor here at Mondello Park. Very, very quick SPS to STs. Rookie champion and almost overall champion of Mini Cooper S's on the Toka package in the UK, and now going really well. Anybody that saw his qualifying lap at Spa this year, it was a delay and a safety car, and he got one flying lap and he stuck it in P2 out of 45 cars, I think. There he is in this beautiful Riley, his dad Liam Denning's car, heading out. Shane Houlihan alongside him. Shane, a great collector of classic cars, some beautiful machines, and a great supporter of this event always at Mondello Park. Then Cam McAvoy, man, very much involved with the Historic Festival at Mondello Park. There he is in the blue Riley. Watch out for him. Ken is quick. Then is that Ed Cassidy? It's Edmund Cassidy. I don't think. Well, that looks like the Iona Special Mark II to me, but let me have a look. It's Edmund Cassidy in the Iona, one of the Iona Specials. Then it's Eric Kavanagh, John Luttrell, Tom Mullins, Nick Bennett, and Tony Canny. It's great to see these cars here at the Historic Festival pre-1955. I'm almost sure that's the Mark II Iona Special, but I might be wrong that Edmund Cassidy is driving. Somebody might correct me with a WhatsApp message. The wheel is slightly bigger than we remember. So Alex Denning will be absolutely loving this. He loves getting behind the wheel of anything. Very, very quick. Alex, very likeable, very smart, does all his own sponsorship, raises his own funding for his GT4 campaign. Comes from good stock. Mother and father both raced at Mondello Park. His brother also very quick, raced karts and has been out in Fiesta STs and gone very well. Here he comes, Alex Denning now. Normally you would expect a younger driver to struggle with a car like this, but Alex family, his grandfather in particular, has a wonderful collection of some beautiful classic cars, and Alex takes them out quite a lot on occasion. He was blasting around the Dublin Mountains with a few mates in a Bentley the other day and put it up on social media, so Alex knows exactly how to use these old gearboxes and heel and toe and double D clutch and all the techniques you might need. I don't think that Riley will be quick enough to hold off the Fraser Nashes when they arrive, but Alex will not give it up without a fight, you can be sure of that. So here we come down to the grid, and Liam Ruth has just called us into the commentary box here and told us that that is the Mark I. It's the original Iona Special, but Edmund has changed the wheels on that car, so at least I wasn't losing it. He has slightly bigger wheels, he's changed the drums on it, so Liam Ruth not out. There's a problem with the Mark II Iona Special, so unfortunately Liam will not be joining this one, but he'll be enjoying it. Now down on the grid is Tim Shaw. We met Tim for lunch earlier, and he's going to go out and chat with these guys. So Tim Shaw, in a couple of minutes' time, is going to go out on the grid and have a chat with some of the drivers, which is going to be well worth looking forward to. Alex Denning, I think, it looks like he's got a GoPro attached to his helmet there on pole position. Let's hand over to Tim.
Shot right here. Come and have a look at some of these guys and meet them. So, interesting way of dealing with things. We've staggered it so that it makes it a little bit more competitive. So you've got the first set going, then we're delaying the next one. Fraser Nash is mainly by 45 seconds, and the next one's by a minute. Right, let's go and find out the race plans. Hello, mate. Right at the front. What's the plan?
To win, obviously.
Yeah, but what have you got up your sleeve? What are you going to do? How are you going to do that?
I don't have much up my sleeve. I've only driven the car for 5 minutes, but I'm confident enough I can take it. We just have to keep the Fraser Nashes behind us.
Good luck.
Thank you very
You're flying low, by the way. Right, let's move on down here to another one. Over here, the Iona Special. Look at this. Isn't this just a beautiful looking thing with MG on the front? The chassis mode over here in Ireland. Hello, mate. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm fine, thank you.
Race nerves?
No, just go as fast as I can.
Why are you shaking then?
I'm not shaking, grand.
Hold your hand out.
There we are.
What sort of plans have you got?
Just go as fast as I can.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, right, well, good luck, all the best. Stunning looking piece of kit. Let's go down here to the next one, speak to one more. We've got a Riley here. What's hiding under the bonnet of this? Tell me a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit? Can you manage that? Let me help you. Can you do it? There we go. Tell me a little bit about the car.
My father's car, we built it together. It's a 12.4 Riley.
Okay, well, all the best of luck. Good luck. I hope you win. Okay, right. So as we said here, there are 3 different groups setting up. In order to make this thing a little bit more fair, basically the first lot are going to go, then we're going to delay the next lot by 45 seconds, and the next lot by, right at the back there, will be 1:20, meaning that hopefully, this is going to be nail biting, literally. I mean, look, I've bitten off all my nails. Hopefully, what it means is that they're all going to be crossing the line at the same time. Highly competitive. Good luck to everyone. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Tim. And it is wonderful to have Tim here at Mondello Park. And we just met him at lunchtime earlier. An absolutely wonderful guy and an absolute enthusiast. Stop him in the paddock. Take a selfie with him. Have a chat with him, because he is giving time to absolutely everyone this weekend. He's an ambassador for Carole Nash. We have carolenash.ie here. They're down beside the podium if you want to have a chat with them. Lovely people, and do really good deals on your insurance, your car insurance, your classic insurance, all sorts of stuff. So do have a chat with them. What a grade of pre-55s. A staggered start, so watch out for this one. But Alex Denning will surely lead away. I think Ken McAvoy will have a stab at Alex Denning early on in this one. Watch out for it. Ed Cassidy goes very well in that famous Iona Special. It's a 6-cylinder MG-based car. It was owned by a relative of his, by Pierce Cahill, who owned Iona Airways, hence the name. Massively successful car. And it was in America for a while. He tried to buy it back. He didn't manage it. And Ed never stopped. He built a replica of the car and eventually managed to buy the car back. And he races it really well. That's Edmund Cassidy, number 6. So away they go. And Alex Denning there, one of the quickest drivers around. See how he goes in this car. Literally, they bought it last weekend, is that, and Alex hasn't driven the car. Liam drove it yesterday. There's a problem with a throttle linkage, and Liam Denning has huge links to Steve Griffin, who was working on the car. So John Naylor and the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy crew coming up to join us, and they're going to have a look at this one from the balcony. So great stuff. Mind the wires. Martin Kavanagh from See It Live won't be happy. Oh, Art McCarrick in a wonderful Rotman's jacket. Absolutely period dress. Typical Art there. He's a big rally fan. Great to see it. So Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy with us. There's Art McCarrick and John Naylor. We're getting a shot of them. Art is looking at the camera there. That's Aoife Rafferty on the right hand side. You can see John Naylor very much involved in this. We haven't got John Coyne here today. There's Aoife on the right hand side. William Creighton up with them. All these guys, Eamon Kelly. It's wonderful to have them at Mondello. We're getting a great, they don't think they're on camera, but they're getting a shot from the automatic camera beside them here, and very much involved in Irish motorsport. It's a wonderful initiative because it's bringing Irish rallying talent to the fore. And it started off with a little bit of training in social media, a little bit of training in fitness, and a little bit of training and now it's got real legs, thanks mainly to John Coyne and of course to Motorsport Ireland. And these young men and women are making really great steps. They're on the world stage for Irish motorsport, and as a result it's aspirational for young kids. You don't have to look at foreign names when you look at the WRC, WRC2 and WRC Junior now. You can see Irish names, see the tricolour on the podium and see what's achievable. So Motorsport Ireland, well done. John Coyne, well done, and to everybody involved in that. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and great to see them here. They're out having a quick look at the start of this from the pre-55s, where Alex Denning will start on pole position. Alex already coming down towards pole. There's Edmund Cassidy, goggles on, leaning into the corner. I think one or two of them may have thought it was a race. Alex Denny's got his hand in the air. Is there a problem? A lot of waving from Alex. The officials coming down to him. Yeah, somebody's gone through. Somebody obviously thought that was the race for missing a car. Somebody has thinks they're leading handsomely. Not so much. Alex Denning takes up pole position. Hopefully he'll be okay. Yeah, he seems okay there. Alex Denning, hopefully everything's okay. Car number 33, the beautiful Riley, just in from the UK this week. His father Liam added it to his collection. Oh, look at Ed Cassidy moving forward to get the Iona Special right onto the marks. There's the man that thinks he's leading. That's I think that's Shane Houlihan. Thinking there's nobody staying with me. I've got a great lead here. This looks good, but unfortunately, it's the warm-up lap. No, I did think it was the race as well because quite a number of them went at it when they headed away, and I had to double check. But here he comes through Lola Corner. Well, is that an exhaust off the car? Possibly. Well, he's got a bit of a shock when he comes around to the grid because everybody's going to be there. So here comes Shane Houlihan. Beautiful car. It's a Riley 12.4. Absolutely immaculate car number 14. Shane from Waterford, 1500cc Riley. Gentlemanly stuff, isn't it? I think if it was a normal race meeting, they'd be long gone and he'd be heading for the pits, but I think we're possibly going to wait for Shane now. Let's see if there are any waved flags for him on the way up to the final corner. There aren't, but he will see the grid when he comes out of Southside Motor Factory's corner. Here he comes. Oh dear. Hopefully we'll just put him back to the front of the grid, or will they leave him at the back? Well, he's decided he's going back to the front of the grid. Little bit of shuffling going on there. I think there was a little bit of racing going on in that green flag lap. Certainly a little bit of confusion. So Shane just lining the car up. Alex Denning with thumbs up, so obviously everything's okay. Terrible problems with throttle linkage, but I did see possibly Dave Griffin, certainly Steve Griffin involved in it, and Liam Denning passed me with a load of linkages. The 5-second board is up for the Dublin Grand Prix. A staggered start for this one, so they won't all go when the lights change. Away they go, and Alex Denning with a cracking start as we would expect. Alex Denning leads down into turn 1 for the Dublin Grand Prix. Next up should be Simon Blakeney Edwards and Joanna Blakeney Edwards in two of the faster Fraser Nash cars. Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh, I've never seen that in pre-55s. Ed Cassidy and Ken McAvoy getting tangled up there. 41 John Luttrell, his dad's Riley just having to, they just part and everything's fine. Well, that's very unusual. It's a shame because they both went very well yesterday. Ken McAvoy was really quick yesterday and Edmund Cassidy was in there too. But yeah, no problems for Alex Denning out front. Getting ready to go now, back on the grid. There's the Fraser Nashes. You think they've been given a good head start, just watch this when they get going. They're really quick and they drive them so hard. Chain driven, no differential. The only way you can drive these cars is to chuck them into the corner and power them through. They'll understeer otherwise, and it's great to watch. Away they go. Like a big cart, as John Naylor says here beside. That's exactly what they're like. They've got a chain drive back to the rear axle. So Simon and Joanna Blakeney Edwards down to the first corner now. Simon has the inside. Joanna tries to sit around the outside, leaning into the cars. You have to do with these cars. She's got the inside for Campion corner, and she takes that place marker. Does she? No, they're still side by side. Well, this is great stuff. She tucks in behind him now. Simon Blakeney Edwards. We've still got the other cars on the grid. Still got the other cars on the grid. They've got to catch Alex Denning. Not going to be an easy ask, but they are so fast. Watch these guys go. This is Jeremy Brewster, 77, 44 David Wiley, and 4 the entertainer Chris Chilcott. Away they go. Chilcott on the left with a little bit of smoke as he had yesterday, but he is the last of the late breakers. Watch out for this one. These cars are really quick and they absolutely fling them round. 77 Jeremy Brewster now is the first away. 44 next up is David Wiley, and in third place now is the man that won yesterday, Chris Chilcott. Here's the HRCA cars coming around. Oh, and McAvoy looking over his shoulder, and yes, Edmund Cassidy is following you up through the pack. They've caught a couple of cars. They've just gone by the MGTD of Tom Mullins. TD, a car that was produced from 1949 to 1953, powered by a 1250cc XPAG engine, somewhere around 50-55 brake horsepower, and McAvoy around the outside and paddock corner. So here's Alex Denning. He is still leading. Alex Denning leads this one, going by. He'll love this, Alex. Absolutely loves driving anything. Even the minibus here during the week with corporate guests on board. And he heads towards Campion Corner now, turn 2, right up over the inside curb. Shane Houlihan keeping him honest. Here's Ken McAvoy looking over his shoulder, wondering where Edmund Cassidy is. He's not too far behind. They're recovering from that first corner tangle. And he's not getting away, is he? Oh, Shane Houlihan comes at him on the brakes there. Two Rileys battling away down at turn 3, past the Beacon Hospital signage and back up the hill towards this off-camber left-hand corner. Alex getting the car out of shape. This is great stuff. Shane Houlihan's car looks a little bit more settled. Alex on the door handles. He's under pressure here. Houlihan looking for a way by. Alex Denning going out to the left for Lola corner, try and get the quickest line he can through it. It's not often you see a flash racing suit like that and a GoPro on a helmet for a 355 driver. Big wide line for Alex Denning to try and carry as much speed as he can, and that seems to work for him. Then across to the right to defend down into 7A and B, and he stays to the right because Houlihan a little bit quicker to straight line. Alex has already gauged that. Oh, get the car out of shape on the brakes. Look how hard Alex Denning is working at the steering wheel. Gets back on the power, a puff of smoke, back into the second apex, up over the inside curb. It's not a Fiesta ST, Alex, and they come back up towards Bahrain's Benz one more time. Centre of the road. Oh, defends heavily coming down here. Alex Denning is not giving this one away as he fires the little Riley into Bahrain's Benz. I think Martin Bahrain would approve. And Shane Houlihan now all over the back of him. Denning under big pressure here as he looks around. I can't wait to see this GoPro footage. No doubt he'll post it later on. You see the little puff of smoke when he gets back on the power. Nice and early, gets into the apex. But I think Houlihan is quicker at this stage, and Alex Denning looks like if there were door handles, he would be driving on the door handles. He's having a real go here. Oh, up over the inside curb and right out to the outside. Liam Denning must have his head in his hands. He's just bought this car 3 days ago, and Alex is curb hopping and trying so hard to defend that lead as he gets into the inside curb and right out to the outside as he comes onto the main straight. Is he going to suffer here in the main straight? I don't think so. He's got a good entrance. This is for the Dublin Grand Prix win. Houlihan tries to get alongside, but there's nothing wrong with that car. Look at Alex checking the mirrors. He's got enough straight line speed. If he's got enough straight line speed and he can place that car wherever Houlihan needs to be, he should be okay until the Fraser Nashes arrive, and they will arrive before the end of this race. 9 minutes and 43 seconds to go. Denning is wide as they head for Campion Corner. Houlihan tries to get alongside. This is fantastic stuff from the pre-55s. Houlihan brave enough to sit round the outside of Campion Corner. He's got the inside now, and I think he's done enough. He has, and he powers ahead, and Alex Denning is going to have to get him back quick if he's not going to be dropped here, because that was good stuff from Shane Houlihan, wasn't it? Got the run on the way out of turn 1, sat round the outside of Campion Corner. John Campion would give a nod of approval to that. Brave stuff as they come up out of turn 3. Denning hasn't given up just yet, and the cars are relatively equally matched as they come back towards the main arena now, down into the off-camber left-hander. It's Shane Houlihan. Fastest lap at the moment is Johanna Blakeney Edwards, but watch out for these guys coming through. Here come the quick Fraser Nashes. They've caught a few of the other cars already. We'll see a fastest lap now, surely. I'm not sure about the timing screen so far. It's showing Simon Blakeney Edwards leading, but they haven't caught Denning or Houlihan just yet. So let's keep an eye on that one. Alex Denning certainly hasn't given up, but Shane Houlihan looking very composed out front. Hard on the brakes down to 7A and B. Oh, Alex Denning carrying as much speed as he dares through the first apex. and flicking it in through the second up over that inside curb again. Alex getting a length or two back perhaps there at 7A and B, and then back up towards Bahrain's Bends. Nobody near them now. This is as close as he's been. Let's have a look at the lap times. You know, I don't think those lap times, they're absolutely can't be right so far. Chris Chilcott 2:24. 2:21, David Wiley is the fastest lap. 2:30 for Alex Denning, 2:29 for Shane Houlihan. So they're losing 7 or 8 seconds a lap more to the top cars. We knew that was going to happen, but can they catch them? 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go now. I think they can. There, Fraser Nash is charging through Lola Corner. It's a long way to go. It's the entire international loop to catch up, though. I'm not so sure. Oh, Alex Denning still pushing hard. It's still just trying to inch back up to the leader. Alex Denning all over the curbs. Flashing the lights on the main straight. I think that was that Eamon Kelly waving at him from the top of the grandstand and Denning responding by flashing the lights. You might want to keep an eye on the track there, Alex. So great stuff. The young race driver of the year and young rally driver of the year communicating by signal during the race. Another wave there as somebody goes by. I'm not sure. I think the timing screen will probably sort itself out. I would have Alex or Shane Houlihan the lead. He's showing us 5th place. I'm not sure why in this one. It's obviously staggered some way. It's Ken McAvoy, I think, a little bit sideways. He's looking over his shoulder. He knows they're coming. You can probably hear them coming, these Fraser Nashes. They are so quick. Out onto the main straight. Edmund Cassidy in the Iona Special. If you're watching the live timing, I can only help by saying I don't really understand it either. I have these guys in the lead and the Fraser Nash is chasing them down, which is what we were told. Sideways stuff for Shane Houlihan, much tidier for Alex Denning, and that brings him right back onto the tail. And Alex Denning really enjoying this, having a real go as he flicks the Riley right into the apex, stands on the bar. The puff of smoke gives an indication that when he gets back on the bar and it's early. So Alex really having a go standing on the bar. It's one of the Fraser Nashes, one of the quick Fraser Nashes is gone. It's yesterday's winner, Chris Chilcott there on the left as Alex Denning clambers all over the exit curbs and looks for a run up the inside into outside Motor Factory's corner. That's covered, so he goes out wide, right up onto the inside curb, trying for the switchback, trying for a better run. Alex Denning having a real go here, using all the tricks in the book. He's far more experienced than Shane Houlihan, but Houlihan is quicker at this stage, I think. Alex Denning really having a go. This is great to watch. He's going to have a go on the brakes here if the door is open. He thinks about it, Alex Denning, but I'm not sure. Brakes aren't the strong point of any of these pre-55 cars. Here come the Fraser Nashes. Now they're charging up through the grid, but they're only at where are they? At Bahrain's Bends, whereas Alex is down at turn 1 heading for Campion Corner. Alex Denning certainly hasn't given up. I wonder, can one of these two win the Dublin Grand Prix and beat the Fraser Nashes? Fraser Nashes were perfectly happy to do this. There they are, charging across the start line, quicker than anybody else. David Wiley goes through, Jeremy Brewster as well. They're going nicely. Good battles all the way down the grid. Tom Mullins in the MGTD there, down the inside. Here comes Alex Denning with a run on the way up Kennedy's Rise towards Lola Corner, but he can't just get it done yet. Shane Houlihan hangs on out front. Oh, the front wheel's juddering around on Alex Denning's car. Gets a tighter line, tries to get up the inside. I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Denning has a go somewhere, does something inventive here. Look at him waving around, it's like a Formula Ford race. Alex Denning would love to win the Dublin Grand Prix, as indeed would Shane Houlihan. Oh, a little bit of front wheel judder there from Houlihan's car as he got on the brakes. Alex Denning with a smooth run through here. Watch him taking the curb. Second bit right up onto it. There you go. Sideways from Houlihan. Might slow him. He goes defensive. Alex beginning to move around in his mirrors just to let him know he's there. I'm sure he's fully aware, Alex, with 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Into Brains Bend. Better line for Denning through the first bit. Makes him quicker through the second bit. He's within a couple of lengths now as they head down. The two Rileys having a really spirited battle here. Oh, a little bit of understeer for Alex, but gets it turned in. He's getting the hang of this car, isn't he? Got to commend Shane Houlihan here. He hasn't got much racing experience, you know. Alex Denning has been racing since he could walk, between karts and racing cars and everything. He's highly, we know how quick he is. For Shane Houlihan to be leading him, Alex looked like he was going to have a lunge down the inside. He's trying his best to pile the pressure on here, Alex Denning. Right up over that inside curb again, and right out to the exit curb. Steve Griffin will be loving this. Liam Denning maybe not so much, having just invested in the car. Here they come across the line one more time. 2 minutes 27 seconds to go. Touch and go as to whether they get to start another lap, but they're not going to be caught, I don't think, by the Fraser Nashes just yet. Down into turn one, Houlihan and Denning for the Dublin Grand Prix, one of the bigger trophies of the weekend. Shane Houlihan so sideways, controls it beautifully. Denning right behind him, but just cannot get back alongside. So the two Rileys now. About 3 kilometres to go. It's going to be touch and go. 2 minutes to go on this one, so they'll cross the line around the time that gets back to zero. They could have another lap after this. Oh, there it's righted itself now. It's showing Houlihan leading from Denning. Who's next up? Tony Canny going beautifully. Haven't seen him yet. Then it's Ken McAvoy. Great recovery from Ken McAvoy. He's quicker than the cars in front. Then it's Brewster with fastest lap, 2:19.153, but they're not going to catch these guys. They're absolutely flying. Denning now on a last lap mission, moving around, using all the track on the way out. He should be quicker on the way up the hill, but there's nothing in it. Oh, Alex is thinking of a lunge down the inside. I can read his mind looking at that. But Houlihan gets the door closed. Alex trying to carry as much speed as he can. Watch him working at the wheel there on this, the final lap, as they go out onto the back straight. There's Edmund Cassidy in the Iona Special, a very famous car. That's Ken McAvoy. Here we go. This is for the lead. Denning trying his best. Last lap time for Alex Denning. Oh, he's looking down the inside big time. Can't get it done. Goes back to the outside. He's quick through here though, isn't he? And he was quick on the way out. Look at the way he's using all the track, trying to get that slingshot on the way back up the hill. And Denning gets a good run, and Houlihan sees it coming. Like a seasoned campaigner, moves to the inside. Alex Denning goes to the right. He's surely not going to have a look at Brains Bends. He doesn't. Shane Houlihan goes in a bit quick, gets crossed up. Denning should be quicker on the way out as a result. Shane Houlihan really driving well here. Anyone that's holding off Alex Denning is driving well, but he's controlling this car superbly. The boat's so quick in there, and a little bit of understeer, a little bit of oversteer. The car's moving around. It's great to watch. It's what the Mondello Park Historic Festival is all about. 21 seconds to go. I'm not sure if they're going to get to the checkered flag. I don't think they will. Alex Denning right out onto the curbs again. Well, this is fantastic. So look at Denning going right out to the outside, looking for a switchback or looking for a better run onto the main straight. Clambers up over the inside curb. This is as close as he's been as they come out onto the main straight. Checkered flag is prepared below us. 2 seconds to go. 1 second. Alex Denning pulls out, gets alongside. It's neck and neck for the Dublin Grand Prix, and just about the win. Fantastic stuff for Shane Houlihan. And what about that for entertainment from Alex Denning? Well, that was absolutely fantastic. And things like that won't do Alex Denning's career any harm at all. He hasn't driven a pre-war car before on track, and that was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to say well done to Alex Denning, but anyone that holds off Alex Denning for a win, I think, has earned their prize. And Shane Houlihan will take the Dublin Grand Prix, and it'll be great to see. And a big lunge up the inside for the last corner. Is that Canny? One of the Fraser Nashes down the inside. Canny switches back, but surely the Nash will have enough under the bonnet. Indeed it does, to blast through. So I think one of them is going to be third. Okay, well the screen has gone askew again and is showing Blakely Edwards is leading, but well, not in my book. I don't know. I think Shane Houlihan was first to the line from Alex Denning there. So anyway, let's see. Great entertainment from 355s for the Dublin Grand Prix. Any of the trophy races this weekend have been absolutely massively entertaining, and that's exactly what we want as one of the Fraser Nashes drifts out of Southside Motor Factor's corners for the final time. So really good stuff. We're nearly coming to the end of day 2, which is an absolute shame. We could make it a 3-day race meeting maybe next year, because the entertainment is fantastic. And there is the Iona Special making its way for the line. 6-cylinder 1100cc MG power with a pre-selector gearbox, and Ed Cassidy blasts along, fist in the air. He's delighted. He's just pipped number 41. That's John Luttrell to the line. So great stuff from him. Tom Mullins, I think, has he already finished? No, they're still out on track. We're waiting for Tom Mullins, Eric Kavanagh and Nick Bennett in the Silver Eagle Alvis. A couple of potential young racing drivers there posing on the podium. That podium is brand new in Mondello Park, and it was put up here on Wednesday. It's almost worn out already from kids jumping up on it all weekend and having a go. And in fact, there are trophies waiting there for the 355 guys, so they're using them as props. Great to see. Maybe we'll have some aspiring race or rally drivers there next time out. Here comes the MGTD of Tom Mullins. He's just ahead of Eric Kavanagh to come back down towards us. It's the left-hand drive MGTD, just ahead of one of the Irish Fraser Nashes. Great stuff. So that's the Dublin Grand Prix, and Fergus Brennan, no doubt, will have the winning drivers on the podium very, very shortly, but wonderful entertainment and a cracking race there. So well done to all. Aoife Rafferty is here with us in the commentary box. So Aoife, just before Fergus takes over, he might take over any minute now and we might have to let go, but Fergus is going to grab the driver as soon as he comes in. Aoife, what's going on? All you guys on the world stage, we're so proud. It's great to see. It's been a bit of a whirlwind for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great. It has been a whirlwind, but it's really enjoyable.
Let's just go out onto the balcony here where we have a chat with some of you guys. So yeah, Aoife, what's happened?
Yeah, so we're doing the Junior European Rally Championship with the MI Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy, so it's been a busy year.
It's great to see. I mean, I know you've come into it and you're pretty young and it's all new to you, but we haven't had stuff like this before. We haven't had a chance like this for Irish drivers, and we've got a whole load of you. We were talking to somebody earlier, and I see the excitement when I talk to Art McCarrick about it, and John Coyne, I met him for a cup of coffee not too long ago, and he's just so impressed by this, and John is supporting you all so well. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, the whole programme is really good, and it's great to have Art and John Coyne, the whole Motorsport Ireland. You know, the sport is great, and the programme is really coming along, and it's just, you can see the progress with all the drivers on the world stage and European stage, and here in Ireland it's really good.
You can see it. It's absolutely fantastic. When's your next outing, Aoife?
Czech Republic for the next round of the championship.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's really good. So it's a tarmac event and we're really looking forward to it. So. Brilliant.
You should go well on that one. Any sponsors you want to mention?
Yeah, there's down and go we've got Lockroy Auto Parts, Quinn's Hardware, O'Neill O'Malley Architecture, Carwell Tire Centre, and just thanks to them guys, because without them it wouldn't be possible.
Great stuff, fantastic. So the MI Rally Academy. Where's William Creighton? Is he here as well? Have we got them all up? Eamon, you next up. What is happening? This is great, isn't it? It's a wonderful story. Just come to me a little bit here.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I was here last year. Obviously, it was in memory of John Campion, and great to be back for a second year in a row and see the event get bigger and bigger. And it's a credit to the place. You know, we're so lucky to have Mondello and to have it on our doorstep just outside Dublin too. It's fantastic.
I think Motorsport Ireland have come on so much in the last few years. I mean, they work really hard. It's difficult for any governing body, and it's very easy for everyone to criticise them. But the stuff they're doing at the moment is absolutely fantastic. With you guys, with the young driver, young race driver, young rally driver, is wonderful. So it's great stuff.
Yeah, you know, you have to remember we're still a very small country, 4.5 million people, and when you see the statement we're making on the world stage, it's absolutely fantastic. I don't think there's another country that can say, you know, they've funded multiple young drivers to go and race on the world stage. It's unheard of, and when you come from a small country, you can be very proud of that. So we've made a big statement this year, and hopefully other countries can follow suit, but it's great to be a trailblazer.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to have you down here. They're screaming in my ear to hand over to Fergus Brennan on the podium.
That was a fantastic finish to that pre-55 race for the Dublin Grand Prix trophy. Great race, great competition all weekend among those lads, and it's great to see the cars, those old cars out on track. We just had to check the result because it wasn't shown up correctly on the timing, and with it being a handicap, we had to be doubly sure, and we are now. And in third place, it's Simon Blakeney Edwards. And in second place, normally he's a GT racer, racing all over the European continent, but now he's back driving a really old car, but I think it's the first time he's driven it. It's Alex Denning. Well done to Alex. And our winner, Shane Houlihan. And so Shane's going to get his trophy from John Naylor from Motorsport Ireland, and then once he's got that, we'll present him with the perpetual Dublin Grand Prix trophy, the much fancier trophy that he'll get his name engraved on. And unfortunately he can't hold on to, we'll have to give back to us. But we'll get Alex to hold off on the champagne for a little bit until we do the interview. He's getting ready to go already, so this is going to be fun. So we're going to talk with Simon. Simon up on the podium again today, but a little bit more opposition from these two.
Yeah, that was a hard race. So obviously we started a minute behind them, but they were too quick. We couldn't catch them. So well done to them. Fantastic race, brilliant. I'm knackered now. I'm glad it wasn't a 20-minute race.
And were you flat out from the start?
We were absolutely flat out. Yeah, we couldn't go any faster than that. So and of course the tyres got really, really hot. So then coming into braking areas, we're just going straight on. Lost loads of oversteer, understeer. Yeah, it was very exciting, very exciting.
So once again, you've enjoyed your trip back here to Ireland?
Absolutely, we'll definitely be back. Definitely be back.
Okay, well, it sounds like they're getting the next race out to go, so we'll try and hurry things up a bit. Alex, this is not something you're used to, a big open car with a massive steering wheel, no seat belts out in the open. How did you feel about it?
Great fun. The cars, they handle so well, but they don't stop as well. So after one lap, the brakes were completely gone. Trying to go for a move up the inside of Shane without writing the two cars off was off the cards. But hats off to Shane, he did a fantastic job, and yeah, fair play to him.
And apparently it's only a brand new car to your family, you only just got hold of it.
Yeah, I drove it for the first time last night, betting in brakes. But yeah, I've done millions of laps around this track, so I have no excuses.
Okay, well done. You don't need any excuses for a performance like that. Second place, brilliant. Shane, hop down here. Shane, well done. Great race. You're pushed by this young fella, but you held on.
Oh, thank you very much. No, he raced a fantastic race and put me under pressure from the word go. And it was so hard to stay ahead of him. It was a really tough race and very fair racing, though. All credit to both guys. Really good and really fair and really safe. So I very, very much appreciate it.
And you've enjoyed your weekend here at the Historic Festival?
Absolutely a great weekend, yeah. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But that was great fun out there. Absolutely a brilliant race.
Okay, and great to add your name to the historic trophy, the new trophy that we've instigated a couple of years ago, the Dublin Grand Prix trophy. A big round of applause for our top three in the HRC Pre-55 race. And they're going to spray the champagne now. And I know where one bottle of this is going, so I'm getting out of here as quick as I can. So we'll hand back over to Leo before I go running.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Shane.
Entertainment. It's the HRCA Historics. What a grid. They've struggled a little bit for numbers recently, but they've been absolutely fantastic this weekend. Great racing. And on pole position for this one, for Bill Griffin Motors, is Dave Griffin. And Dave Griffin was absolutely fantastic yesterday. He won this race and he won the St. Bridget's Trophy. He filled it with some liquid in the bar a couple of times was spotted in Dublin last night with it. So Bridget was on tour last night. Bridget is back on display in the paddock today, I believe, the St. Bridget's Trophy. And Dave wants to make it 2 in a row. And he starts this one from pole position in the Crosley 9S. He did suggest, oh, look at this, live coverage. See it live, great stuff, literally. Because we're on board in the Crosley 9S, the Bill Griffin Motors car of Dave Griffin. I know this sounds terrible. Let's hope he makes a bad start and we can see his recovery back up through the pack. Dave Griffin all on his own in the front row. So next up is Gareth Thompson, then Jackie Corcoran in the Tiger. Watch out for him. Tommy Doherty and Brendan Keane. Billy Crosby, danger, danger. Watch out for Billy Crosby. Very quick. That's the Crosley 9S on the left-hand side of your picture on the third row of the grid. Then Lewis Dunlop, Bernard Foley, Stephen Kelly, Val Thompson, Bill Griffin, Clive Brandon, Conor Cook, Michael Nugent, Wolfgang Schnittger, Johnny Flynn, James O'Mahony and all the rest. We're getting ready to go. Red lights are on. They're out and away goes Griffin. Brendan Keane with a great start in the single-seater and he gets a launch up the middle. Watch Jackie Cochran in the Tiger. He's dropped well back. Tommy Doherty in the Irish-built MD GT is down the inside for second place. Brendan Keane trying to sit around the outside in the Mallock Clubman's car. Then side by side it's father-in-law and son-in-law, Jackie Cochran and Gareth Thompson. Jackie takes it. Watch out for Billy Crosby. He's behind those two in the second of the Crosley 9S's. That's Brendan Keane and Jackie Cochran's car, quickest car of the weekend through the speed trap, as it normally is. That beautiful Sunbeam Tiger, he drives it really well. JC Restorations. And nobody touching Dave Griffin now in the Crosley 9S already as he comes down into the S's. Oh, he gets a little bit out of shape, doesn't he? This is great to see. Look how much he's working on the steering wheel. Once he gets it turned in, it's okay. But on turn in, certainly. There's the gear change on the exit. Oh, Dave Griffin's already away down the road. Jackie with the headlights on should be able to make up a place or two on the back straight. That car is so fast. Big 5-litre V8 in it. Dave Griffin away down the road. Tommy Dock in the MDGT. Jackie Corcoran moving around on cold tyres in the Sunbeam Tiger. Here come the midgets. It's Johnny Flynn, Wolfgang Schnittger and all the rest. Conor Cook, I think, having a real go through Lola Corner. Jackie didn't manage to get by Brendan Keane that time. Brendan Keane going nicely. In the little Mallock, good queue behind though. Jackie's got the headlights on, but he's got people coming at him. Watch out for Billy Crosby. Stephen Kelly in there too, drives that car beautifully. Another Mallock, a slightly more modern one than Keane's, but it hasn't got too much power. And Stephen Kelly struggles a little bit for power. There's the rest coming through. Bernard Foley, uncharacteristically far back. We would expect Bernard to be right up at the front. Lifting an inside front wheel there is the MGB GT of Gareth Thompson. Oh, right up over the inside curve for Dave Griffin in the Crosley 9S. Grabs a gear into third. Great sound as he goes by here. 158 from a standing start is impressive stuff as Bill Griffin tries to make up a place. Jackie Corcoran gets by, but Brendan Keane whips out from behind him and launches it down the inside, takes that place back on the brakes. Billy Crosby is up a place, he's ahead of Gareth Thompson, and he wants to have a go at Jackie Corcoran. And these guys have history from yesterday. It was the Crosley was forced onto the grass a couple of times, but it was a great battle. I'm not sure Jackie can see that little sports racing car. It's very low slung. And oh, look at this now. Crosby trying to have a go around the outside, back up the inside. Former Formula Ford racer. I've raced against Billy. He's a hard man. He's very, very quick, but doesn't give you an inch more than he has to on track. And here he comes now, trying to get by Brendan Keane. He will feel he should be up there with Dave Griffin. So let's see what he can do. He's in a little bit of traffic at the moment. That's that car of Billy Crosby, the second of the Crosley 9S's. Billy Crosby now with a run down the inside. It's brave stuff. Passing into Moraines Bends is brave. It's a medium speed corner, and Billy Crosby just launches it down the inside. He's had enough. There's Stephen Kelly. He's been a real star of HRCA this year in that Mallock, and he's tacked onto the back of these guys in front. It's relatively low power, but it's very quick. Stephen Kelly with huge history in Irish motorsport. He ran Ken Files back in the day in Formula Atlantic. He's run Jonathan Files in Boss Ireland, and he's going to help young Jack Files when he starts racing at the end of this month in Kyrgyzstan. So he will have run 3 generations. He was also involved in Status Motorsport, and he was one of the mechanics in the A1 GP team that won the World Championship for Ireland. So Stephen Kelly just there going through shot now with that distinctive tricolour helmet, with massive involvement in motorsport, and absolutely loves racing this car. So that's Stephen Kelly in the red and blue car just going through there. Great shot of him. He's closing in on Brendan Keane for single-seater honours in this one. Jackie beginning to get away, but Billy Crosby should be able to close him down. Dave Griffin with a 56.1, fastest lap of the race. Fastest first sector now again. There's Dave Griffin, beautiful car. That Crosley 9S, completely wrapped in the Bill Griffin Motors colours. Cars gone under the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes, pretty travelling at Mondello Park if you go around in under 2 minutes. Around goes number 87, Billy Patton, quick spin in one of the MG midgets. Recovers beautifully. Round wheel arch MG midget, looks fantastic. Plenty of camber on the front of that car. They try really, really hard. That battle hotting up now as Billy Crosby begins to harass Jackie Corcoran. Now onto the main straight. And look at that at the top of your screen. The Crosley's not slow, but here comes the Tiger down the outside of Tommy Doherty. Tommy Doc has to defend heavily, and Billy Crosby smells an opportunity around the outside. Billy's round the outside of the Tiger. Can he hold it for Campion Corner? I think he can. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good committed racing from Billy Crosby. I did say he was a hard racer. That was a great move to get around the outside of Jackie. Keep it pinned through Campion Corner, even though you're offline on the approach. So good stuff. Good brave racing there from Billy Crosby. Oh, Patton off again. He'd be dizzy at this stage. 87, still going round. So great stuff. Here comes Crosby now. Is next on his list is Tommy Doc in the MD GT, the car that Morgan Dempsey built in Cullion-Beg and Mullingar back in 1988 to take on the TMC Austin of John Keeney. By the way, John Keeney is here today and it's his birthday. John Keeney, the first ever winner at Mondello Park. He won the first race in a Mini Cooper S at Mondello Park in 1968, and he won loads more after that. And John Keeney's here today, so big happy birthday to John Keeney. Morgan Dempsey's car going still very nicely in the hands of Tommy Doherty. There it is up front. Peter Faulkner ordered this car as a brand new build from Morgan Dempsey in 88, and the car changed hands on a number of occasions, but that's pretty much still the Faulkner packaging colours that are on the car. It's been restored pretty well. Ed McInerney had it, Ed Cassidy owned it, John Keeney had it briefly, and now Tommy Doherty has the car. He's driving it superbly. Single seater car, you can see that it's got March F3 rear suspension, so it's pretty much a full racing car under that bodywork. That's a great battle between the two Mallocks there, between Stephen Kelly and Brendan Keane. Here's our leader. He's done fastest lap, has he? No, he hasn't. Billy Crosby's gone quicker, 55 dead. Billy Crosby has gone quicker and he's not too far behind. Here he comes. Tommy Doherty though hasn't let him by in that lap, so Tommy Doherty going nicely too, 57.7, his fastest. Here comes the Crosley with a big run now. The MD GT on the inside, the Crosley 9S on the outside. Last of the late breakers, Billy thinking of the same move, but Tommy Doherty not being quite as generous with the tarmac and just easing him out on the outside. And Tommy Doherty hangs onto that place through Campion Corner. Oh, he gets sideways and hangs onto it beautifully. Well done, Tommy Doherty. That was well held. A mid-engine car sideways at turn 2 is not somewhere you want to be, really. But Tommy Doc really having a go here. Both of these two guys were formidable Formula Ford 1600 drivers back in the day, as quick as anyone, and as we said, good hard racers. And Tommy now beginning to move around. Here comes Billy with a move down the outside. Billy Crosby, Billy Blow as he's known. He's got a great exhaust business in Dublin, and they can pretty much fix, patch or mend any exhaust you want. So nicknamed Billy Blow, and everybody knows him, but he can drive a car as well as he can fix exhaust. Jackie's not finished just yet, is he, in the big V8? He's motoring up behind these cars as Stephen Kelly begins to challenge Brendan Keane for single-seater honours. Look at Jackie, big tight line, and then pours on the coals as the Sunbeam Tiger begins to come at these two sports racing cars. They've got to be careful. That Jet Tiger is way quicker than anything else in a straight line here. It's just not as quick through the twiddly bits as these proper, well, it's miniature sports prototype really running on a sports racing car in second place. Here they come back towards us. 5 minutes 44 still to go. Very tidy line from Billy Crosby, or sorry, from Tommy Doherty through there. Doesn't go wide at all through the first bit, gets on the power. Nice late apex here is what you need. It's exactly what he does. That gets him a few lengths away. They come once again, the Crosley gets the run, and once again Tommy Doherty sees it coming and holds the inside line on the way down to what these two boys would have called shell corner back in the day. Billy with a sweeper around the outside. Oh, there's a problem. That's such a shame for Tommy Doherty. He had driven so well, and a problem for the MDGT. We've been robbed of a little bit of entertainment there. The order now, Dave Griffin out front, nobody touching him really. 55.8 his fastest lap as Tommy Doherty limps back into the pits. Such a shame, but he did give us great entertainment, Tommy. Himself and Billy Crosby having a real go. TTW on the side of that car, it's beautifully prepared. So now Billy Crosby with a clear track in front. He's 10 seconds behind Dave Griffin, and we've only got 4 minutes to go, so I can't see him catching Dave Griffin at this stage. Battles now on the main straight. Bernard Foley just blasted by Stephen Kelly behind these guys, but this is the battle for second place. Crosby out to a 56.7. 55 dead, his quickest. Jackie Corcoran trying to close him down. We're on board again with Dave Griffin in that beautiful 9S as he comes down into Bridgestone corner. Gets the car turned in. Second battle for second. Jackie Corcoran having a real go here, isn't he? Bit of smoke from the back of the Tiger. It's not often we see that. Jackie Corcoran's car smoking just a little. Hey, it's not slowing it down though, is it? As he gets a great run up onto the back of the Crosley. So Jackie's not finished just yet. Look at the tight line Jackie takes here. Try and get on the power early and get that run, but the 9S brings massive speed onto the back straight, but not as much as Jackie though. The big Tiger having to back out of it that stage. I think it's Billy wasn't giving too much tarmac away through 7A. Headlights ablaze on the Tiger through 7B, 1 minute 57 to go. Billy Crosby gets out of shape. The Tiger breathing down his neck now as they come to Bahrain's bends, and a big lockup for Jackie Corcoran. He's trying so hard this weekend. We don't normally see the Tiger getting out of shape. We don't normally see it locking wheels, but he can do it if he has to. And he really is wringing the neck of the big Tiger now. And Billy Crosby beginning to ease away as they get by Billy Patton there in the little MG midget. Such a difference in speed. Jackie gets a great run through paddock corner and is almost right back up with him. Watch this on the main straight. He may have to be careful here because Jackie's right with him. He's late on the brakes. He gets turned in, a little bit of understeering the Tiger. Now he piles on the power. Watch this as the Tiger gets going. All the curbs a little bit more. They come out onto the main straight. Crosley's not slow though, and by the time the Tiger picks up its skirts and gets going, they're almost at the grandstand, and Billy Crosby has done enough. He holds the centre line there again. 158 kilometres an hour for Billy Crosby, 178 kilometres per hour for Jackie Cochran, and that's way back. That's down halfway down the grid, that speed trap. Then it's Gareth Thompson, Brendan Keane, Bernard Foley, Stephen Kelly. Still the battle rages for second place. 47 seconds to go here. Right out over the exit curbs. Dave Griffin still leading this one, but this is where all the action is. Dave Griffin leading by 9 seconds last time round. Right out onto the curbs to the Crosley for what will be the final lap, I think. Indeed it will. Jackie Cochran thinking of a go down the inside. He does on the brakes down the inside of the Crosley 9S. Well, that's impressive stuff from Jackie. He's only got to stay there. Billy sits around the outside, but we know the Tiger has the ponies on the back straight. He just drives away. And Billy's out onto the grass. Billy Crosby takes to the grass. Well, Jackie Cochran's in an uncompromising mood today. He wants that second place, and he's got it now. Can we see any comeback here from Billy Crosby? I don't think so, really. The clock is down to 0. Dave Griffin is out in front and heading for the flag, but Jackie timed that to perfection. You don't expect a stab down the inside from the big heavy Sunbeam Tiger, but Jackie has done it before, and that was absolutely fantastic stuff. Billy left the door open in the hope of getting a good clean run through and an exit, so he wouldn't get nailed on the back straight by the Tiger, but he got nailed on the brakes, and he's closed up, hasn't he? He's on a last lap charge here. This is it, last corner. Here's Dave Griffin now for the checkered flag in the 9S, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. It's a double. He's delighted for Bill Griffin Motors. Dave Griffin wins again, but who's going to be second now in this one? Here it comes, Jackie Cochran just about. Here comes Billy Crosby, neck and neck on the run to the line. The Crosley on the outside, the Sunbeam Tiger takes it on the inside. Well, absolutely fantastic entertainment there. Griffin, Cochran and Crosby, your top three in the HRCA race. And the HRCA have given us wonderful entertainment all weekend. There's Gareth Thompson in the MGB GT V8 next up. Then it's going to be Brendan Keane. He'd be delighted with that. That's a good result for Brendan Keane. Headlights ablaze is Bernard Foley. Mightn't be so happy. Bernard's always right at the sharp end, and I'm assuming there's some problem there. He would normally be right up the front. So the Impact Ireland Metals car in 6th place. Then Stephen Kelly in that Malloch, the second in the Mallochs. Then Lewis Dunlop in the little Lotus Elan. Then it's going to be Val Thompson well back in the TMC. Another car that would have raced against the MD GT in period by John Keeney would have raced it, but actually that car was raced by supercar driver David Dowling and restored by Val Thompson. Then it's going to be Bill Griffin. Bill will be delighted to get home in the Lotus 7. And who's going to be top of the midgets? Are they still out there? Indeed they are. Johnny Flynn has got by Wolfgang Schnittger, but not by much. Johnny Flynn, a man from another family with huge motorsport heritage. Here he comes. His father was Joe Flynn. He was a Works MG driver in the 50s, competed in Le Mans for MG, and had a supercharged MGTC. A lot of wins. Johnny Flynn raced in Mod Sports in a beautiful MG midget, and then he had Formula V and then raced Formula Ford 1600. So he's first of those steel bodies midgets home. He'd be delighted with that one just from Wolfgang Schnittger in the BMW Art liveried car. And then it's Connor Cook going a little bit slowly. It's Connor Cook in 88. He's normally right at the front in this class. And a big mention to Ethan Cook, who produces a wonderful magazine for the HRC at every single race meeting and leaves them in the canteen, the restaurant, brings one up to commentary. It's better than any other class produces, and it's fantastic stuff. So all credit to the HRCA. They're doing a great job, and they brought a massive grid here to the historic festival at Mondello Park. So well done to all involved. There is your result. Dave Griffin takes 2 wins on 2 days. And his fastest lap, a 157.882. Sorry, that's his last lap. He did a 155.843. I'm not sure why he's showing the last lap. Fastest lap for Dave was a 55.843. Crosby did do a 55.076 early on. But anyway, result is Dave Griffin first, Jackie Cochran second, Billy Crosby third, Gareth Thompson fourth, then Brendan Keane first of the single-seaters in the front engine Malloch, Bernard Foley in the rumbling MGB GT V8, the Impact Ireland Metals car, then Stephen Kelly going well in the second in the Mallochs, Lewis Dunlop, Val Thompson, and Bill Griffin from Bill Griffin Motors in 10th place. So great stuff from HRCA.
What a great race that was to finish off the Carole Nash Historic Festival for this year. Great performance there by the top three. Great battle, really good run by Dave Griffin way out in front, and a great battle then for second and third place, which in the end went to Jackie Cochran. So it's going to be Billy Crosby that we called up in third place. So come on there, Billy. Third place to Billy Crosby. Well done, Billy.
Thank you.
Well done to Billy. And in second place after a titanic battle, Jackie Cochran. Great move by Jackie to finally get that second place in the place we took the place in the place we don't normally see people going by. A brilliant move. Hop up there, Jackie. There you go. Well done. And our winner, Dave Griffin. Dominant performance by Dave. Well done, Dave. Well done, Dave. Well, Billy, Jackie got you in an unusual place, didn't he? Going into the low, the corner.
Yeah, he did.
Were you not expecting it?
I was expecting it all right, but not the way it was done. But we forget about it.
Did you enjoy your weekend and your race?
Weekend, yeah, great weekend. Cars in one piece. I'm in one piece. But my kids think it's ironic I've been selected for a drug test.
That happens. It's random. It is random.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, thanks very much, Billy. Jackie, hard out fight there for second place.
Very hard old fight. We destroyed the two tyres yesterday. We had no tyres, running old tyres. I thought at one corner I was going to take Bill out, but elbows out, doors open. I managed to get it.
And overtaking on the inside at Lola corner is not something that we see done very often.
Yeah, but then I suppose for me and the old cars, different. We like to do something different.
Well, you certainly did. You put on a great show, though. Thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed your weekend.
Lovely weekend. Great. A great weekend. Thank you.
Dave, hop down there. Top step at the podium again. Unfortunately, you didn't give us too much action on our onboard camera. You were gone off into the distance, but a great performance.
Yeah, just got a great start and kind of came through turn two, looked in the mirrors, and I think Tommy Doherty was behind me, but just put the head down and just kept it steady and bring it home, yeah. I would have loved the dice, but I was also quite happy just to bring it home and get the win again, yeah, delighted.
Yeah, you've won a few of these now at the historic meeting, so you really enjoyed this event, don't you?
Yeah, it's a great meeting, fair play to everyone involved, and it's a great car to drive, and I would have liked a dice with the two lads, but it was great fun, and thanks to everyone for the day out.
Okay, well done to our top three, Billy Crosby, Jackie Cochran and Dave Griffin, and thankfully they're walking off with the bottles instead of shaking them. Thanks very much, Jackie. And with that, that's us finished from the podium here at the Carole Nash Historic Festival. We'll hand over back to Leo for a quick wrap up from the weekend.
I don't know how many Fergus Brennans we had here this weekend, but I suspect there was more than one. He's been up here doing bikes, he's been down there doing podiums, and very much involved in helping us with the live stream as well. A lot of people we want to thank. It's been an incredible weekend. This event gets better and better. This is the 5th year we've run it. Probably the biggest attendance we've had. Definitely the best racing we've had at the event. Highly enjoyable. From my point of view, commentary is so easy when the racing is as good as it was this weekend. I really enjoy it. I've been coming here since I was a kid with my dad. I'm still a huge fan, and I met loads of people the same today. There used to be a grandstand up at the final corner. We used to sit in that years ago, and Alan Dukes was always sitting beside us, and I met him at lunch today, and he's still a massive fan, a huge supporter of Mondello Park. To have the Bahrain family here today, they supported me. Martin Bahrain supported the circuit when it was gone to the banks and almost disappeared. He bought it back and invested heavily in it. We've said the story before. When things were quiet here over the last few years, the Bahrain family stood on and they supported the circuit, and now the circuit is going really, really well. It's a corporate venue second to none. It's really doing well. The racing is good. The numbers are up with ICCR on the grids and in the grandstands, as the corporate business is great, and it's great to see it. So they were great to have them back here today. Susan Brown, all her family, and Howard, and they were here today. Had great fun up at the meal, and last night we had dinner with them, and highly entertaining. They just loved the place as well. The racing was absolutely brilliant. We always want to thank the marshals, the officials, but especially Mondello Park, the operations team, Roddy Green, Ian and the team. They did so much work here during the week. I saw it firsthand. They were out laying grass, they were painting curbs. There was just so much work went on. Place looks absolutely fantastic. The only sad bit is that Martin Brain wasn't here to see it, but maybe he did. He would have loved this event. He always wanted, he loved historic events. He loved going to Goodwood. And to have something even resembling slightly Goodwood or the Silverstone Classic at his own circuit would have been a source of great pride to Martin, as indeed with the return of Formula Ford 1600s. He was always a fan of Formula Ford 1600s, wanted to get them back, and we tried on a number of occasions. They were back this weekend, and they really did entertain us. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Those guys are already on, looking to come back next year with full grid. So this event next year is going to be absolutely fantastic. We're back racing here in a few weeks with the Leinster Trophy, which returns to Mondello Park, an event with glorious motor racing history. There's loads going on down here. MondelloPark.ie if you want to find out what's happening. If you want to drive a car around the track, you can book into one of our experiences, drive a Porsche, Ferrari, anything you want around the track. Loads to do, lots of corporate experiences, lots of events on down here. Rallycross will be back shortly. We're racing with the Leinster Trophy in a few weeks, but certainly to everybody involved here, to the organisers, the marshals as ever did a great job, the rescue crews, to our UK visitors, you're so welcome and thank you for the entertainment. And to see things like Alex Denning in Pre-55s and Dave Griffin in HRCA, just a source of great entertainment to us all. So anybody that had any involvement and anyone that came down here today, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful event. It's great for Mondello Park, it's great for Motorsport Ireland, it's great for motorsport in general. So more of the same next year, please. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did here at the venue. And lastly, a big thank you to Martin Kavanagh and his team and See It Live for wonderful coverage all weekend. We'll be back here in a few weeks' time with the Leinster Trophy at Mondello Park.